Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, we are starting early. We are doing Gladiator, the theatrical cut that H. Boomer and I are trying to figure out which one he has.
Oh no,
Which we do.
it's theatrical because it's the original
Okay.
DVD. It's the
Okay.
original DVD. It ain't they direct, so it's the original cut. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure out how long this thing is.
Should be like 220,
I don't
roughly.
know. We'll find out. Actually, I'll find out when I start it because it'll start. In fact, let's
Of course,
see.
when we watched Superman, you had a slightly different version
Yeah,
of
that was a bit of a
Superman.
disaster. Yeah, so let's
Oh,
not
it
do
was
that
all good.
again.
It was all good.
It was bad. Well, anyway,
It wasn't
runtime.
like and Allen movie disastrous.
Oh, speaking of Irwin Allen movies, we do have to do Towering Inferno at some point.
Oh,
Yeah, let
you
me
know
know when
what?
you're.
You are right. 2 hours and 34 minutes and 59 seconds. So,
That's not terrible. All right.
yeah, we have the
But we're
same.
going to welcome the chat who's here. We have
We
Melissa
have
Harris.
Melissa Harris so far.
All right. I'll say about maybe doing a Twitter posting. Not that I'm a
Let
big
me.
fan of Twitter these days. Everybody's leaving anyway.
That's what I hear. They're either
All right.
leaving or getting erased.
Getting erased. Yes. All right. Let's see here. I want to share on Twitter. But why'd you pick Gladiator this week, Daniel? This was your pick
You
this
picked a
week.
pretty manly film last week with Death Wish, so I went with a manly film for me. So
Yes. Gladiator. I remember when this came out. This was a big deal movie. Joaquin Phoenix. This was like one of his first major roles, right? I think on the big screen.
yeah,
I'm sure he was in stuff before this, but I know this was the big one that he got cast in as the evil emperor.
I was trying to find out how much he got paid for this film, and it's not ever been released apparently.
I am wondering how historically accurate this movie is. Is this a
It's
known
not.
emperor?
It's not.
It's not.
It's
Not okay. Yeah, yeah.
I've
The
got
fake
like
emperor.
I've got more notes tonight than normal. I've got like 3 weeks worth of notes.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll let you carry that on, and I'll hit
Yeah, and
tweet. Are you
honestly, the more I dug into this film, the more digging there was to do. You could
okay?
talk for 12 hours about this film and still not be done.
Okay. Are you not
Jedi Masters
entertained?
Utopia is correct. He was in space camp. He went by I don't know his birth name at that point. I think it was like Leaf or something like that. I don't know,
So
but
so okay.
I'm not sure what his real name is. I don't know if it's Joaquin or Leaf or. But I
Oh,
actually met him once in high school. Interesting story. He was in a band with his brother River Phoenix, and they came to town to this crap hole bar called Tip Top Bar and Lounge or whatever. It was in the ghetto in Huntsville. And I had to go because big Indiana Jones fan. He had just played young Indiana Jones. And I got my last Crusade Advance one sheet autographed. It says to Daniel, live and let live, River Phoenix. I got my picture taken with him. I met Joaquin. I met his sister
wow.
and some other. Yeah. And of course, I was like, I don't care about your brother. I'm like, oh man, to go back, and because River Phoenix died. That was 10th grade. He died right after I got out of 12th grade. Like 3 years later, roughly, he died.
Yeah.
Um, and his brother was with him that night when he died. He made the 911 call. God bless him. But
Oh, Big Al loves the Towering Inferno. Well, maybe we'll have you on for the Towering Inferno, Al, if you're interested. I don't know when we do
that
it.
could
What do you
work.
think?
Yeah.
Oh man, the Towering Inferno. Richard Chamberlain is evil in that. But you have the score to Towering Inferno, right?
I do. I think I have 3 versions of it.
And you got the score to this movie as well, right?
Yes, I have both commercial releases. They did an actual soundtrack, and then when it came out on DVD, they did like an additional release, which was mostly experimental stuff that Hans Zimmer had done before the film.
It was weird. I remember when the Prince of Egypt came. He did the score to Prince of Egypt, didn't he?
I think so.
Yes, and that was the animated movie about the Moses, the Exodus story. And I remember that I got the soundtrack to that, but then they released some gift pack you bought at Walmart, and it had additional cues in the CD soundtrack included with that version. So I don't know if that's ever been released completely.
I'm still waiting on the complete Gladiator soundtrack to come out. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it's a rights issue, but
I don't know.
I mean, they did a 4 or 5 disc set for the Thin Red Line, which Hans Zimmer did. If you can give me that, you can give me Gladiator on a 5 disc set.
Oh, I remember seeing that. I was not impressed with that in the theater because I saw Saving Private Ryan, and I thought, oh, cool. And then I go see Thin Red. That was a kind of a depressing movie and kind of dry too. I remember seeing that in the theater.
Thank you, Big Al. I don't know if you just know these things or if you like Googled it, but thank you. So he was born Joaquin Raphael in early roles. He credited as Leaf. Okay, so I wasn't out of my mind when I thought that. Then he took his birth name back in the 90s.
Okay, cool. All right, so another couple minutes. You want to start the movie? I'm trying to think, probably.
Yes, that poster is framed and in my bedroom, and I will never part with it because
what poster?
The Last Crusade poster.
Oh, that one, the one you were talking about. Okay, yes,
yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah, that's not ever going anywhere. If I die tomorrow, I don't know who gets it, but yeah, no, it's not going anywhere. Don't worry about that, Melissa.
Cool. Space Camp. Are we going to do the Space Camp rewatch?
We can. That's got what.
Actually, that'll be one you say for if we get our meteorologist guests on again. Right?
I'm sure Katie'd be all about that movie.
Okay, Space Camp. Oh man. I'm trying to think though.
Rain. That was his sister's name. Rain. That's right.
We could do The Godfather sometime. Of course, I know Troy's been talking about doing that on his. Yeah, I know. I have the score to that though, I believe, or is it part 2? I have the score to. I have the score to one of them. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I think it's part 2 because that's the party song on it. I'm trying to think. So
you ready to start? Or you want to give a couple more minutes for people to pop in?
We can give a couple more minutes. We'll start at 8:10 maybe, or 8:11 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But Gladiator. Do you remember when this won Best Picture and rather inebriated Elizabeth Taylor came out and said Gladiator? Remember that?
You're saying Elizabeth Taylor drinks? I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? Of course.
I'm being kind of funny there.
That was the big joke that she read the wrong title, or that somebody read or was it Jack Palance that read the wrong title? Oh, that was the one for what's her name? My Cousin Vinny, Marissa Tomei winning Best Actress.
She's a fine-looking woman.
Yes. Does My Cousin Vinny have a good score though? That's the thing.
Can someone explain to me how this one was at 77% on Rotten Tomatoes? Does that seem low to anybody? That seems very low.
I think people rag on this movie. I don't know. I don't know why, but I'll pick it apart once we start watching it. Okay.
Well, talking about drinking, Oliver Reed, who plays Proximo in the film, he was notorious for drinking.
Oh, I forgot. Oliver Reed's in this. Oh, now I'm excited to rewatch it.
Drinking a lot, and
I think he died in a pub
before the film was over. Yeah,
he died in a pub. Oliver Reed is he showed up in a lot of these Hammer horror movies I like to watch. He was in Curse of the Werewolf.
Okay.
He was in a Cronenberg movie called The Brood. Oh man. He can be a terrifying actor. Actually, it's funny because I was watching an old Merv Griffin episode, and it was Oliver Reed, Orson Welles, and Charo on the set together. Okay, and it was funny hearing him talk to Orson Welles, and it almost looks like they're going to get into blows and then they're fine. Do you understand? Because I think what happens is
I've heard he was a fighter. He'd get into a fight pretty easy.
Oh, Oliver, yeah. But I think it almost seems like they're going to get into brows, but then Oliver Reed says, "Yes, but you are a living god among directors today," and that made Orson Welles back off. Because Orson Welles, you wouldn't want to get to a fight with either. Okay, but
he was pretty stout looking guy. Yeah.
Oh man, you should hear some of the conversations they have with Orson Welles. Like when he's you can find these on YouTube of him doing radio commercials and him yelling at the guy on the other side. It's oh man, it's terrifying to listen to.
Well, do
All
you know
right,
how Oliver Reed died? He was 61 when they were filming this, and he beat 5 Royal Navy sailors in a row arm wrestling in a bar.
wow.
And then he had a heart attack. I don't know. When I'm 61, I'm probably not gonna be arm wrestling any sailors.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be doing it at the age I am now. But and they had to change the ending of the movie too because of that. But I'll go into that later.
Oliver Reed was a famous drink with Burton, Richard Harris, and Peter O'Toole. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
What other films were nominated that year for Best Picture?
That's a good question. Let me look that up.
I know who else was nominated for Best Original Score. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon won for score.
I remember that was up. Who did the score to that? Was that Yo-Yo Ma that did the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Dan Ton or Ton Dan.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
But the competition was Patriot by John Williams, Chocolate by Rachel Portman, Gladiator by Hans Zimmer, and Molina by Ennio Morricone that year. That was the competition.
All right.
And Best Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon won. Best
Picture nominations.
I know Russell Crowe feels guilty. I mean, for winning Best Actor that year. You got it. I mean, just be grateful for it. Don't feel bad.
Feel guilty. Actually, that's another great. Have you seen L.A. Confidential?
No.
Okay. You have the Goldsmith score to that? I
do. Somewhere.
Okay. All right. That would be a good one to do someday. That was Russell Crowe was in that before Gladiator. That's how that's how I noticed it. That'd be a good one to do a rewatch on someday. Awards.
The Professor would like that movie.
The 5 movies are Chocolat, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Aaron Brockovich, and Traffic. Oh, this was not a good year for nominees. I'm sorry. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was interesting, but it's not even my favorite martial arts movie of that type. And Aaron Brockovich was good. None of them are bad. Traffic, overrated, man. Overrated. Sorry. I'm not. I don't care. I don't care. No, it's overrated. I don't know.
That was the Michael Douglas film where he was like a DA.
Yes.
Agent.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really feeling old. I didn't realize that movie was that old. If you watch the movie Sicario, it's almost like a spiritual successor to that movie. It even has Benicio del Toro in it, and it's a much better film and about the drug war. Of course, it doesn't even get a nomination the year it came out. Okay, when we have 9 nominations, not even one goes to Sicario, and it's a better drug trafficking movie than Traffic was. Okay, never mind.
Wow, Jedi Masters Utopia. L.A. Confidential is one of the best books and movies of all time.
I need to read the book actually. Because I love the movie so much. I need to read the novel. But Aaron Brockovich. Okay. It's a good enough movie. Good enough. But Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I wonder if that was the best movie that year. I don't know. Gladiator is good too, though. We'll find out. I will judge by rewatching. How's that sound? Okay.
I always enjoy this film. I don't have TV anymore, but anytime it came on TV, I would always stop and watch. All right,
we ready to watch? And you want to do the countdown?
Let me get
my. Are you all set up?
Get my.
I'm on the black. Okay. I got my DVD, probably from 2001. Oh, no. Okay, so hopefully it still plays all right. I doubt it's been watched that much though. It's probably watched once. Yeah, get your stuff set up. I'll talk to the chat.
Why having a good week in the chat?
Why won all those Oscars? I don't know if 2001 was a great year for movies. Oh, wait a minute, 2001?
2001 was when the Oscars were, but the film year was 2000.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Okay, I remember now. Bring It On should have been nominated.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, whatever, snob. Okay. You ever see it?
Call me
Okay.
a snob.
Anyway, okay.
The guy in the dressing gown for a
Yeah,
YouTube show,
yeah.
snob.
You don't like Bring It On. That
What
was
about Coyote Ugly? That was a great
no.
film.
Let's not. No. See, now you're comparing. No, no, not even close. Okay. Bring It On had Kirsten Dunst as a cheerleader. That's all you need. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna hit play whenever you're ready. We'll do a countdown.
Okay, y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. I got a black screen, and the DreamWorks thing is just popping up.
Yep, it's the sepia tone DreamWorks thing.
Yeah. Not Russell Crowe. Ridley Scott said he wanted to do this because it made it feel more time appropriate with the film.
I wonder if this is the best movie DreamWorks ever put out. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. I'm being mean.
What about Transformers 4, whatever the hell the title is?
I don't know. Whatever. Is that the one with the dinosaurs or the Arthurian lights? I don't watch those movies.
They're called Dinobots. They're called Dinobots. Okay.
Whatever. Listen to me. I hate to break this to you. I was an '80s kid, but the things I was into in the '80s, they weren't Transformers. They weren't. I didn't get into He-Man either. I'm sorry. I'm not picking on those that did grow up in those things and like them, but they weren't my bag. I didn't get into G.I. Joe, but I think that was a mistake in retrospect. I might have liked G.I. Joe if I'd given it a chance. All right, Gladiator. Okay.
Now, you asked how historically accurate this film is. The opening title thing is pretty much true.
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius never conquered the Germans. He never definitively defeated them. He died on the front. And for the last 3 years of his life, he was co-emperor with his son Commodus. Commodus was his son. He had 14 kids. 14.
Yeah, well,
that's a lot of children.
That was they didn't have birth control back then.
No.
Well, let's not think about how what they.
No,
maybe they did.
Actually, yeah, they did. They did in Rome.
I don't want to think about it.
They had condoms in Rome. They were made out of silk.
The
things you will learn tonight.
Yeah.
But the most important shot in the film, right here. This is going to appear several times throughout the film. This defines the film right here. The Earth, the farmer.
Now he's called the Spaniard, right?
He's from Spain.
So he's from Spain. Okay. I'm trying to think, how was Spain getting along with Rome during this time?
They were a Roman province.
Right. Probably my ancestors would have been painting their faces blue about now. Okay. But yeah.
So were mine.
Yeah. So yeah,
But yeah, Marcus Aurelius' wife was Festina the Younger. Like I said, they had 14 kids. She was very, very unfaithful to him, and it's very possible that Commodus's father was not Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, that sort of thing happened. When I was in an English class once, we had to do a report on the on things that were popular during the period, and I guess there was a Roman restoration going on in England at that period where they were really into things Roman. So I did my report on the Roman satirist Juvenal. Okay, that was his name, Juvenal. Okay, yeah, and they credit him as the man who invented the satire. Okay, and he had an essay called basically on how men don't marry. Don't marry. It was so anti getting married and against women, and it was saying how, stay celibate or find a young boy or something to stay away from women. It really tore Roman women apart. And then there's one portion of the poem that goes, and don't even get me started on your mother-in-law. Okay, what happened with that? And it's all against marriage. And he was a famous satirist. I mentioned to him that I think he was alive during the I believe it's Emperor Tyrannus, if I'm getting his name right, which makes me think that's where the word tyranny comes from. And they said, because he often would write poems about the early Roman emperors, and like he wrote one scandalous one about Messalina, Claudius's wife, and And they said, "Why don't you write a poems picking on the current Roman family or whatever?" And he says, "Because I'd like to keep my head." That's what he said, you know. So he would write about the early Roman emperors in his satirical poetry, not the current ones. You understand? Oh, speaking of losing heads, um, Germans causing trouble. They're my ancestors.
Yeah,
There
those
we go.
pesky Germans.
Okay.
This scene was actually filmed in England.
Yes. Okay, there we
And
go.
that mud is very real. They said it was so muddy.
Okay.
But the opening scene does a nice job of telling you who Maximus is. He's the general. He's respected. He's good at his job. His troops love him. And you'll see him do this with dirt throughout the entire movie.
Okay. Now, I believe that this is still pagan Rome. They haven't converted to Christianity yet, because I believe there is a missing scene that's in the director's cut where they throw a Christian to the lions before one of the gladiatorial games. So this is before it had taken root over there yet. And
that dog had a much bigger role in the film, but he was not a good actor, so they cut out all his roles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Except for this right here, pretty much.
Yeah, I come from a fan. My dad was obsessed with things Roman. I have seen all of I Claudius. Okay.
Well, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I'd actually like to learn more about the emperors that came after the first five. That might be more interesting.
One of the guys from I Claudius is in this film.
Derek Jacobi. He's the actor who played Claudius.
Yes.
He's in this movie. He's not playing Claudius though, but he's in this movie.
He plays a senator named Gracchus in this film.
Gracchus, that's a good name. I've watched Spartacus more than Gladiator. I'll say that. I have watched Spartacus a number of times.
The Kurt Russell Spartacus.
Kirk
Douglas.
Kirk Douglas, yeah, Kirk Douglas Spartacus. I need to watch the TV series. I did see some episodes of the first season, but I never got around to finishing it. But okay, Ready in green fields at the face. Do not be troubled, for you are in Elysium and you're already dead.
And Heaven's a central focus of this film, because he's trying to take the rest of the movie to get back to his family, who are there waiting for him,
mm-hmm.
And that becomes his goal.
Yep.
A lot of people have compared the opening piece of music to Holst, the Planets. You know, the piece I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But Hans Zimmer said he was not influenced by that. He was influenced by Williams Walton, who was an English composer last century, Stravinsky, and a Russian composer whose name I will butcher, Mussorgsky. Mussorgsky. He said he was not influenced by Holst at all for this piece of music.
Pretty impressive. They haven't invented the crossbow yet, though, at this point in history, I don't believe, right? There you go.
Rome was very good at military stuff.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think we regressed a bit after the collapse of course, as my dad would always say, the collapse of the Western Roman Empire, not the Eastern.
Eastern Empire lasted much longer.
Yes.
But originally it was all the same, but then the Western fell, and Justinian was probably the best Eastern Roman emperor, if not one of the best Roman emperors, period.
Yes. Those arrows flying. I have a movie called The Fall of the Roman Empire. It's one of the last big epics. I need to watch it one of these days, but I got a box, not fancy box set of it for like next to nothing. I don't think it came with a score though, but it came with a lot of other stuff.
And this was all filmed with people. These were not CGI armies.
Romans rip off the Greeks. Well, the gods they kind of ripped off. They just changed the names.
And rename them like Marvel Comics and DC. You got Aquaman, they've got Submariner.
Oh, there you go. You got
Plastic
Zeus.
Man,
We've got
Fantastic.
We've got Jove. Yeah, Zeus, Jove. No, you don't go up against the Romans. I'd like to see the Vikings go up against the Romans. I love the Vikings, but they were not. They were good at surprise attacks. They I think when it came to like battlefield strategy, forget about it.
You know, the budget for this film was 103. Box office was 457.6.
Not a cheap film, especially for that time. I mean, Titanic was earlier than that, right? But
like 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And this did win. I mean, it won Best Picture, Best Actor, Sound Mixing, Visual Effects, and Costume Design.
Cool.
Hans Zimmer won Best Score at the Golden Globes, but not the Oscars.
So not at the Oscars. What won the Oscar score was the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Is that what it is?
Do I have the score to that? I don't think I do. I have to go through all my CDs again, see what I got.
I do wish this dog would have been more of the movie. I like the dog.
I wonder if I bought the score to Hero. I don't know if I did. The Jet Li movie.
Wasn't there a Hero film with Andy Garcia in it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
And Dustin Hoffman?
I don't know.
Big Al, look that up for me.
They say one of the problems is, I mean, none of this is CG right here, right?
Correct.
These are all actors. So, and that's one of the sad things is as we're, you know, you're going to have more CG battles now in movies. It's not the same. It's not the same. This is pretty brutal, though. Okay, this is.
And notice how the score went from heavy brass and percussion to more strings. I
imagine that this helps with the dating market, though, back then. You know, half the men getting butchered in battle. I'm sorry.
Well, half the women died in childbirth, so it kind of
it evens out. There you go. Okay. Oh, man.
And there's our emperor, Marcus Aurelius, who was one of the 5 best Roman emperors, actually. He was a good emperor. He did spend a lot of time abroad fighting, though.
Is Claudius considered one of the 5 best?
I've got my list here.
I think people tend to like him because things were relatively better, I think, under him than they were under
Claudius came after
Caligula and before Nero, so he's sandwiched between those 2 monsters. I mean, it's like
Caligula, Commodus, Caracalla, Alagabus, Papinus, and Bolibinus are the worst emperors.
Okay.
What was the 5 best? Oh, wrong sheet.
I imagine the one that was the last last emperor was probably one of the worst, right?
Yeah.
That presided over the fall, probably. And that would be Emperor Hadrian. He was on the list, huh?
The five good ones, and they're actually one after another. Novera 96 to 98, Trajan 98 to 117, Hadrian 117 to 138, Antonius Pius 138 to 161, and Marcus Aurelius 161 to 180.
Okay.
And then Commodus was in for 13 years, I believe, until he was finally killed.
Huh.
And he was strangled in the bath by his wrestling buddy.
Interesting.
On orders of the Praetorians and his mistress.
Oh my goodness. That's a bad way to go.
Well, before that, they poisoned him with meat, but he threw it up, so that didn't work. So then they went strangling him. But his sister Lucilla, who's in the film, played by Connie Nelson,
Connie Nelson.
Connie Nelson. She tried to assassinate him earlier in his reign, and that just kind of pushed him over the edge as far as going crazy.
Huh.
She was exiled to Crete, and after a year, she was mysteriously murdered.
Oh, mysteriously murdered, huh?
Mysteriously murdered.
Yeah.
But I mean, to try to kill the emperor and live for like another year.
All right, so we got Maximus. Is this where he says, I'm going to try to name you the next emperor? Is he kind of nudging in that direction?
That's coming up.
Yeah.
And right here you get the true glimpse of his character. He's like, what can I do to reward you? And he's like, I want to go home. Let me go home. And Marcus Aurelius like, home. Okay, we'll have to talk about that. But most people in that position, especially in Rome, if you're a general that wins wars and you've got the loyalty of your army, you can seize power. Maximus wants to go home. He just wants to go home and be a farmer again. And he tells Caesar, like, they honor you, Caesar, and Marcus Aurelius is like, no, they honor you, Maximus. And he doesn't want that.
Nope.
He had a job to do. He did the job. He wants to go home now.
And here, look who it is.
And here comes Commodus. And look at Maximus. He's dirty. He's bloody. He's been working. And here comes Commodus. He's pretty. He's clean. He's got fancy clothes. Quite the difference.
He's wearing blue and not red. So how long is the score to this movie?
It's probably 2 hours.
Okay, so a good portion of the film you got to score.
They wore purple because that was the most expensive dye on the planet. It was worth more than gold.
All right. So he just wants to go home.
Just wants to go home. I don't blame him. Can you imagine like a fabric dye being more valuable than gold?
Things are hard to come by, I mean, think about it. We were a few months ago. Toilet paper was probably worth more. So it just depends on how available something is, right?
That's true.
Spices were huge.
Oh, they were.
The spice trade, geez, one could argue that's what fueled the age of exploration. Just we want to make our horrible food taste better. I mean, it's like
just give me a bottle of A1. I'm good to go.
Yeah, they have A1. Salt. You could trade salt for gold at some point. You know that? Yeah, I mean that's. Did they know about sea salt? They must have, right? I don't.
Joaquin Phoenix was nervous about taking this role, I heard.
Well, it's a big role, and it's probably one of his earliest things, yeah. Rome was a republic, yeah, and then they got emperors, so. Nutty emperors. Nutty people in charge of the country.
I mean, they had some good emperors. They had a lot of bad ones.
Yeah, well. I probably would have been one of the bad ones if I'd been emperor. I know myself.
Well, I think I would have been a good one. I hope.
No. I'd start thinking everybody was out to kill me, and then I'd start, okay, I'm going to get them first. You know,
Yeah.
I'd probably be paranoid as all get out if I remember.
One thing that was the problem is in the plumbing, they had lead in all the pipes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you get lead poisoning.
Yeah.
I intended home. Well, no one's earned it more. And I know that you're saying you're going to go home and that you don't want it and all this other thing. I don't care. You got to go.
Yeah. One thing I want to bring up about Maximus, and I've listened to every commentary on this film I can find before this show tonight.
Uh-huh.
And not once did anyone bring this up. And I'm surprised because the first time I saw this movie, I'm like, I know who Maximus is based upon. After Rome got rid of the kings and they had the Senate and they had the consul, the way it works is you have the Senate and then you have two consuls, and they're kind of like a president and another president, like co-president. And the consul can decide to do whatever they want. But the other consul can say, no, we're not going to do it, and it's not done. So that's kind of like the check and balance there. And you're consul for 1 year, and then you leave. And when you leave, if you did something illegal, wrong, immoral, or whatever while you're consul, once you leave office, your ass is grass for that.
What?
So, yeah, so that's kind of like the check and balance on it. But Rome was having some trouble. They had some corruption problems, and some people were trying to invade the Aegui. My pronunciation's horrible. They had surrounded the Roman army. The Senate went to Lucius Quintius Cincinnatus. He had been consul for a while. He'd been in the Senate. He did his job. He went back to becoming a farmer. And they went to him and they said, we'll make you dictator. You need to save our army, clean up the corruption in Rome, and then your duty's done. It's like, well, I'm doing my farming thing right now. I'm kind of doing that, but okay, I guess I'll have to go do this because it's my duty to the state.
Yes, because you're still a citizen.
Won the battle, cleaned up the corruption. He's like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I'm going back home to be a farmer. And that was it. He had all the power anyone could want. He did his job and he quit. He walked away. And he was forever in Rome, the epitome of Roman civic virtue, like the archetype of Roman virtue was him. And I'm like, that's who Maximus is based after. But no one's ever commented on any of the commentaries.
Huh.
This sword fight right here, that's a good setup for later in the movie. But
so he's like George Washington now. George Washington gave up power too.
Yeah. He is kind of like George Washington. And actually, Cincinnati in Ohio is named after him. And after the Revolutionary War, there was a society formed by American Revolutionary soldiers called the Cincinnati Society, where they got together to, practice civic virtue and stay connected before Facebook and all that.
Huh. It's the world with that is the world which I created. I still haven't watched the Alexander movie.
You don't need to.
It's not good. It came in a 3-pack. I got a 3-pack with 300 Alexander, one of the cuts, and Troy. Yeah.
I mean, maybe Oliver Stone's director cut of Alexander.
He's like, they're like 3 of them. They're like done 2 other cuts of it. Yeah.
I don't know how you make a boring movie about Alexander the Great.
There was supposed to be another one with Leonardo DiCaprio's Alexander and Nicole Kidman as his mother, but that never came together, I guess, because Oliver Stone did his version,
It's probably a good thing.
So they had another one in the planning stages. Apparently, they're doing Cleopatra with Gal Gadot
with Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Yep. Actually, that's not a good sign because they did the Cleopatra with Liz Taylor almost destroyed a studio.
That's true.
I was excited when this came out. I'm like, I'm wanting to see epics. I want epic movies back. Okay, I want the big epics like we used to get in the 60s, and I think we got Lord of the Rings not long after this. And I was thinking epic movies. That's what I want to see. Now we just get really long movies, but I wouldn't call them epics. Am I wrong there? Okay.
No, not really. Marcus Aurelius is thought of as the philosopher emperor. He wrote a book entitled Meditations. It was 3 volumes.
I will have several young men of various backgrounds will come into the library, and they will want to get out the Meditations. Okay.
Really?
And diverse backgrounds too. They will come and ask for the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Okay, so the young men are still reading them today. So maybe I should give them a look.
He actually had some good little. I wrote a few of them down. Poverty is the mother of crime. I'm not trying to get real big socio-political here, but I mean poverty can be a driving factor in crime. I mean, poverty is a driving factor in a lot of things.
Yeah, but the rich commit crimes too.
Oh, they do. They do. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts.
I don't know. Okay. I'll think on that one.
Well, if you think bad things, then that's kind of your thoughts do affect your soul. If you dwell on the bad in life, then your soul will pay the price for it.
Oh, interesting. 2 years. What did he say?
2 years. So many days since this morning.
Oh, I'm trying to remember if their calendar was the count. If they had the calendar down yet. Oh,
they have a Julian calendar.
Yeah. No.
And here he is. And actually, the word that they should, like the historical word they should use, would have been dictator. But if he had said, "I want you to become the dictator," I mean, audiences nowadays would be like, "What?" But dictator originally just meant you had the authority to make decisions.
As I said, the word I think it was emperor. I want to say it was tyrannus, it reminded me of the word tyranny. The emperor, and I imagine he was probably pretty bad if he was, if that word came from that. I don't know. Yeah, dictator probably didn't have a bad association with it.
Not at that time. The word king, the title king in Rome was like, oh, that was really bad. They did not like a king.
Well, we end up getting kings again. We still have kings in certain parts of the world.
We do.
And we have princes that leave the royal family and hang out in Los Angeles. Anyway, I'm just sorry.
And can you imagine as a father to know that your son is not a moral man? That would just break my heart.
It happens. I'm sorry. You're the emperor. You won't actually. I give him a point. He's doing what's good for the country, not what's good for his line. Yeah. I give him points for that. This happens all the time. Like Prince John. Who did become king? What?
The guy in England who was hanging out with rich people and little children. Is it Philip?
What are you talking about now?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Like someone like in the inner circle of the royal family is wanted for hanging out with little children. And I'm like,
oh yes, I don't know. I don't know enough about the current politics of the royal family, but I did hear something about someone in the family being up to something like that, or someone associated with the family. Maybe it was not a member, but someone associated. Yeah. I did hear something about that, but I don't know the details, so I can't really speculate. Connie Nelson, she was Wonder Woman's mother.
She speaks 9 languages. 9.
Wow. Where's she from originally?
Danish.
Okay.
Yeah, she's Danish. Right. And she's 5'10".
She's tall. She was in what was that one? Devil's Advocate. She was in that movie. I finally saw that last year. I had never seen it before. It's the thing about when movies don't get re-released in theaters, you end up watching movies you've never seen before. Okay,
Yeah.
because you're realizing that they're probably in many ways better than what you were getting the previous year. Actually, no, I will always have good things to say about Ford versus Ferrari. That was a great film. Came out 2019. I was like, please stay in theaters long enough for Christmas time, okay? And don't get kicked out because of Rise of Skywalker, okay? Because I want a good movie to see in the theater on the Christmas holidays, okay? And I don't want it to be Rise of Skywalker, just something else. And Ford versus Ferrari was still playing, and I was very happy I got to see that, okay? Have you seen that, Ford versus Ferrari?
I haven't, but you keep talking about it, so I need to watch it.
It's a great film. I would recommend owning it. Even.
This scene between them sets up their relationship very well. Something happened in the past. She's devious. I guess it comes to territory. He's still just being very straightforward. He's like, I miss my wife. I want to go home. I'm not interested in playing these games.
So sometimes if you're straightforward, in the series I, Claudius, there's a point in time where this is after Caligula gets assassinated because people higher up eventually got fed up with him and they stabbed him to death. Okay. It was like a Julius Caesar thing all over again. Okay. And I think, what is it? The Roman guard said, okay, we need an emperor. It's you, Claudius. And
yeah, they did that because they realized, crap, if there's no emperor, we don't have a job anymore.
We don't get paid. They put Claudius in there, and Claudius goes to his good friend Herod. Okay, Herod. I think it's the Herod of the. I think it is the same Herod from the story of Jesus. Okay, the son.
He was a governor for a while.
Yeah. He was. Claudius was friends with him. If I'm following the series, maybe even real life. Okay, and he was friends with him. And Herod basically tells him, "Oh, I don't want to be emperor. You are going to be emperor, or you'll end up dead." He tells him, "Okay, they will kill you." Okay, trust no one.
In that case,
what's funny too, and then oh Lord, and then later on in the show, Herod sends him a letter about how he was before a temple, and he like someone yells out at him and says, "Oh, you're the Messiah," and he doesn't deny it. And then like Al comes into the temple, hoots 3 times, and he boils cover his whole body, and he falls down. Okay, and apparently this is a biblical record too, I think, or in some record that there was a thing about this happening because he blasphemed by not denying it, and it was interesting. But they had, like I said, I don't know how much of this is accurate to what happened in telling Claudius about that story. But anyway, this is way before this. This is, you will not be emperor. See, I'm sorry. Which wiser older man? My powers will pass to Maximus.
Oh, and that's just oh. Now, do you feel sorry for Commodus at all?
I understand Commodus, okay?
Because historically, he was a teenager. I think he was 17 when he became co-emperor. He was 20 when his father died. How many 20-year-old ultra mega rich kids have their heads on straight?
Not many. I mean,
yeah,
come on. I'm sorry if you're raised. I mean, this is essentially kind of royalty, basically, right? Okay.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be you're not going to be thinking that you're you have to adhere to the same morality as the rest of the public. And let's be blunt, people in power still feel that way. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I went to private schools, and I mean, kids whose parents made $100,000 a year thought they were like, all that, and it's like, really, I mean, you're not. You're doing good, but you're not. You're not all that.
Did you go to Catholic school?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, I did for 4 years. 2 years middle school, 2 years first year high school. Oh man, some of the worst most entitled kids. I'm imagining these are like
Yeah.
lawyers, children of lawyers. So I was a cop's son, so I just it was not a good place for me. Oh man.
It's like I think like half the kids came from military families, and then like the other half, it was doctors, attorneys, and
Yeah.
upper civil servants. Yeah.
Yeah. Just oh man. And then you get the kids that got kicked out of the public schools.
Yeah.
They would have to go to the Catholic school because they did something bad in the public school to get kicked out. Okay. That would happen too. Oh man, rough. That was rough. The first 2 years. Then we moved to Florida. I go to a school down here, and like the worst bully in Florida is like the least one up in New Jersey. You know, it's like, oh.
Now that line he said, "Your faults as a son or my faults as a father," that Richard Harris ad-libbed that.
Oh man, that's a great line. I'm
It
sorry.
is. It's very profound. And right here, Ridley Scott said Commodus killed his dad because this was the first time his dad showed weakness in front of him. That's why he had him kneel.
Oh, interesting.
And in real life, he died from, as far as we know, he died from natural causes.
Yeah, I would butcher the old world if only you would love me. Oh man. So what's he doing? Smothering him?
Yep.
Smothering is very easy to pass, especially back then, is passed off as natural causes. I'm sorry. I remember reading a Tales from the Crypt comic where some guy goes, suffocation looks so much like a heart attack. The guy makes an aside. And I kept wondering, I'll packet that in my head for later. I'm kidding, of course. It's like... Those old EC. Oh, look at that. He's not stupid, though. He's not stupid, though. Okay, so long live the emperor. Did he? I don't know. We ought to have an investigation. Something fishy about this house.
Yeah. Maximus doesn't show the most strategic thinking at this point in the film.
No. What you do is you swear allegiance to the new emperor, okay? Or you kill the new emperor, okay? Yeah, you do one or the other, okay? But there's no middle road here, okay?
But like middle of the night isn't the best place to pick a fight. If he had played it smart, he could have killed Commodus, still taken control of Rome, and done everything Marcus Aurelius wanted. But and I think the fact that he didn't think that way just is a credit to his character. He's like, this is wrong. I know you killed him. I'm gonna talk to the senators and we're gonna sort this out. No, that's not how it works in Rome. Because if emperor says to do something, it's done. I think Quintus kind of does him dirty. But at the same time, I understand his position. I mean, someone else is cutting the checks now, so. And his sister.
Mm-hmm.
I know you did this. I know you did this.
I did
we
not.
won't speak about it again.
I did not. This is all Game of Thrones. No, you don't. I must go to the senators. Oh, half of you have already sworn allegiance to the new emperor.
Yeah.
That's actually the worst time to challenge because the ones that have sworn allegiance aren't going to be on your side because they'll make them look bad in public that they swore allegiance to it. Here we go. Please don't fight Maximus.
And these are the Praetorians. They're not his army men.
Yes.
I think this line right here, promise you'll look after my family, and then Quintus says they'll join you in the afterlife.
Oh no!
If he had just said, "I will, Maximus. I will watch them as my own," I think he would have gone out and gotten executed, and that would have been that. He probably would have seen it as his duty for Rome. But
Probably.
oh, you tell him his family's going to get killed too? No.
Done. Ooh, this is a bad way to go.
Well, the Romans know how to kill someone. I mean,
yeah, I know they don't want to kill someone, but I mean, how quick is it going to be?
They're going to sever his spinal column from his skull, so it'd be pretty quick.
Okay, so they're.
Yeah, because they're going to go straight down at the base of the skull. It's going to be.
No, this is.
But he's got other minds. And the music's kind of delayed here. Now the music starts.
Now, what's the name of this theme?
This is not on the original soundtrack.
Oh, well, never mind then. Okay. They need to release an expanded version of the soundtrack.
It's a version of it is on the second one. I think it's entitled Homecoming.
This may be, since since now I know I don't own this when I thought I did, this might be worth picking up maybe the extended version on Blu-ray someday. Yeah. I could have swore I owned this movie. It's weird, all these years.
I'm not trying to gripe about little nitpicky things. I had to pay $17 to download it on Google Play. Usually it's like $14 for a movie.
You own it though, right?
I have it on DVD. I just don't have a DVD player anymore.
Oh, for the love of I will tell you how to get a cheap DVD player if it ever interests you. All right.
Thrift stores?
No, they still sell them on Best Buy. You can get a Sony upscaling DVD player for like $45.
Really?
You have to, of course, plug it into a TV.
I don't have a TV.
You don't have a TV. Actually, I'll say if you want to buy a TV, best time to buy a TV, Super Bowl week. Or try to get rid of those things. Week? I think so, but anyway, I don't know what you need anyway though. But you can get a Roku TV for pretty cheap. I wouldn't get a 4K though if you just want to upscale your DVDs. Don't go past 1080p, okay? Because I think a lot of your DVDs will not look good because now we're in the HD era. I'll put it this way: 1080p is Blu-ray quality, but and 4K is like twice that. But then I don't know how well a regular DVD upscales to that. A regular like I have a 1080p TV right now, and I'm watching an old DVD. It looks pretty good, you know. Sometimes though, where do you buy your movies on? Google Play?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Is that Google? Is that Google Glass?
Oh, I don't know. I just downloaded it to the tablet.
Interesting. Okay, good to know.
Now, here's the part that's always kind of bothered me about this movie. Roman citizens were exempt from crucifixion.
Really?
Maximus is definitely a Roman citizen. I'm pretty sure his family would have been Roman citizens. If not, he could have bought the citizenship very easily. But they end up getting crucified and burned at the same time. But in research, there's always like that little footnote, except for rare occasions. And I'm like, well, what's a rare occasion? I mean, I'm sure if the emperor says, hey, I want so-and-so crucified, it would probably just happen.
Well, wait a minute, though. If you're a Roman citizen, though, you don't get crucified, right?
You're not supposed to. No.
That was the rule. That's why that's why Paul couldn't get crucified.
Correct. He had to get beheaded.
Yeah, because
But
you don't because he was a Roman citizen, even though he was
right.
he was Hebrew, he was also a Roman citizen. Okay.
Slaves could get crucified. Foreigners could get
Non-Romans.
crucified.
Yeah,
Um,
foreigners, yeah.
and actually, like if a slave, like if you had 50 slaves, one slave tried to revolt against you, all your slaves would be crucified. How's
Wow.
that? How's that for peer pressure?
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that's where the expression "one bad apple spoiling the bunch" came from. I'm sorry.
And
That's harsh. I'm sorry. That's
morbid, interesting thing here. They only had feet for this shot.
really.
They had fake little feet,
Oh, that's
which is why
funny.
he goes up and kisses the feet because he's like, well, because Ridley Scott asked him like, what would you do? He's like, well, I'd go up and I'd kiss her. And he's like, well, we only got feet. So he's like, okay.
Kiss the feet. Hey, it works. That's as high as he can go up anyway, right? So that's why they're high up.
Yeah. And the
Oh,
voice here is Lisa Gerard. She had a real good run in film soundtracks in the early 2000s. Um,
oh, really?
yeah, Hans Zimmer wanted her for this film. He kept saying, I want someone like her. And he's like, well, why don't I just get her? And they sent her some footage of the film, and she's like, yeah, I'll do this film. And they flew her to, because she's from Australia, they flew her to California for like a week, and she ended up staying for 4 months to work on this film.
Oh, Chris P's got a comment. Yep. Oh yeah. Best Buy $45. You probably get free shipping on it too if you want to have it sent to your house. I can always send you the link sometime if you're interested. Okay. And it does upscale. It's a really good. It's like half the size of the old. In fact, that's actually what I'm playing Gladiator on right now. Is one of those Sony DVD players. Because I got fed up and I said, you know, I'm just gonna use my HDMI splitter because a lot of the new HDMI, a lot of the TVs now come with at least 3 HDMI inputs. Mine only has 2 though because it's an old school TV, so I had to use a splitter. But it looks good. Oh, I remember this is the part I remember the most. The maggots.
Yeah.
Leave the maggots; they'll clean the wound. And he's probably right. Okay. Oh man, that actor. I think he was in Amistad, wasn't he?
He was.
I haven't seen Amistad. I need to watch Amistad.
And Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. I should know his name.
And Professor Geek's favorite movie, Captain Marvel.
That's because they had to link it to the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Oh man, Captain Marvel. Have you seen Captain Marvel?
No, I have not.
Okay, not missing much. No more.
Of course, he's been picked up by slave traders.
Yeah, well, that's how it was back then. Is he eating the maggot? No, oh no, he's putting salve in there. Okay, all right. All right, so then we got
he was in Shazam too, Chris P. I haven't seen Shazam. Do I need to see it?
I remember who he was in Shazam now. Was he the wizard Shazam? Maybe he was the wizard. I don't know.
And the music here has become a bit more ethnic sounding.
I got a question. When you bought Gladiator, did you buy the full frame edition or the widescreen edition?
I don't ever buy a full frame edition.
That's all right. Like just making sure you had the smarts to do that. The smarts to do that. Once in a blue moon, it's funny. Around the time we did start getting widescreen TVs, they had figured out a special camera technique where they could shoot the movie kind of both ways, like full frame and widescreen. I think they used it on Titanic, not for the effects scenes. Unfortunately, the effects scenes would still be they were still widescreen. They were shot for widescreen, but a lot of the dramatic action was shot both in widescreen and also that weird kind of full frame. And a lot of movies were that way. They did that with the movie Ronin, which is a great espionage picture. Maybe we should watch that
it's got Robert De Niro in it.
Robert De Niro. It's great. It's my favorite because after Goldeneye, we had a whole resurgence of the spy genre. I think Ronin's my favorite one of those. Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that played Watto in Phantom Menace.
I'll say this: if we get to Easter time, we should do Ben-Hur, maybe Ben-Hur soundtrack. You up for that?
That's a short film. That's like what, like 60 minutes?
No, we would split it in two. Okay, when we get to the intermission, we cut off next week. We do the other part. Okay. But Ben-Hur, no, I'm very happy with the score I have to that. I mean, it's not the complete. It's a 2-disc. But I think that was how I first started talking to you, wasn't it? And on the chats, I talked about the Ben-Hur soundtrack. I think it was you, wasn't it?
That was a long.
Yeah. I'm like, who's this guy, Dan? Anyway, I'll give you 2004 for the Beast. That guy was in The Mummy. He's the guy that got the Beatles in him. Remember?
Yeah. He was in Sky Captain: World of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's a score I should get. Have you ever seen Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow?
I saw it at the theaters. I didn't like it.
You didn't care for it? I guess it's a mixed bag. I wanted the director that made that to make a Superman movie. He would have been perfect for that. I'm sorry, because it was very old school. I mean, it was almost all CG, in the background. Maybe that's what threw you off, and it was very sepia tone. But I got a kick out of it. It was like these old school, like I want to say pre World War II style heroes, just, I don't know. It was, I always appreciated it. Like how they thought how they thought tomorrow was going to be like in the 30s or the 20s, I don't know. I got a kick out of it.
Angelina Jolie was kind of creepy in that movie.
Yeah, she had the eye patch. I was more of a fan of the Gwyneth Paltrow character movie. Her hair was perfect in that movie.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow upsets me because she was like one of the more idealized actresses, and that now she's like making candles that smell like parts of her body. We won't get into that on the stream. It's a clean stream anyway. Okay, but
I think Big Al and Famman have covered that at length.
I think I probably brought it up on one of the streams. Make the professor watch this and Caligula Clockwork Orange style. I've never seen Caligula. I think I've avoided that movie. There's certain movies I will avoid. Like, I like the horror movies, but they're places I don't go. Okay. Who's that actor there? Is that Ray Stevenson?
The big guy? The German guy?
No, I guess not. Okay, I'm trying to think who that is.
He's friends with Arnold.
That does not surprise me. He's a
Ridley
dude.
Scott met him at Arnold's house at a party, and he's like, I gotta remember you because I'll have a movie at some point, and I'll probably need you. And they said he was a very nice, fun, easygoing guy despite his size. He's about 7 feet tall.
That tends to be true sometimes. Like the intimidating guys are actually some of the like the gentle giants, so to speak. But Oliver Reed, though,
I heard on the set he was always going up to Ridley Scott and saying like, "Oh, if Russell can't work today, I can fill in for him."
Yeah, it's funny. And Russell Crowe's no slouch. I mean, I think he's how tall is he?
He's 6'1".
Yeah, I mean he's a good height. I was so upset when I was going for my doctor's checkup and they said, take your shoes off and the belt and everything. It says, 5'11". I'm sure I'm not 6'1". I thought I was 6'1" with shoes on, It's like I'll split the difference, say I'm 6 feet. With shoes, I'm 6 feet. I don't care what people say. Okay. All right, what do we got here? Horses, cows, what are cattle? I don't know.
This is actually fabric dye that's falling down from the from above.
Red is the gods' color. You will need their help today. Oh, I see. Red to contrast the blue of the emperor, right?
Yeah. And it does make it kind of like gruesome.
So this is kind of a I want to say revenge movie. Justice movie, maybe. It's reminding me of
I see it as a
Count of Monte Cristo.
That's kind of how I see it. A faith movie.
Yeah, Count of Monte Cristo is kind of that too. Okay. Have you ever seen Count of Monte Cristo with Jim
I have
Caviezel?
not.
So it's a good movie.
Okay.
It's another movie about a guy that gets betrayed and loses his family and all this. You know what I mean? And he's then he has to get back up into prominence. You know, it's one of these.
Maximus does have great faith in the afterlife because he tells this man at the start of the battle at the movie. He's like, if you're in green fields with sun on your face, then you're in heaven. And he spends the rest of the movie. His family's dead. He wants to go see his family in heaven. That's his entire purpose. I mean, how he gets there is the movie, but his purpose is to do his duty so he can go to heaven, which is a very Roman thing because they were all about duty.
Yep.
He really, I asked the professor to be on, but he said he had schoolwork to do, and I was like, I understand. I won't hate you, but he really is the archetype for the Roman literary hero of duty to Rome, duty to your family. Ridley Scott said the executives kept pushing and pushing for a sex scene between Maximus and Lucilla. They're like, "We'll get them to get together," and Ridley Scott said no because it would dishonor his wife. To him, his wife isn't. I mean, she's dead, but they're still together. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And he couldn't be banging Lucilla because it wouldn't be right to his character.
Right. He's still in mourning too, obviously. Oh no. Yeah. Pee in his pants.
What would you be doing?
Probably the same.
I'd be scared.
It's just a gruesome death.
The music here is just like amped up to like the 10th degree in brutality. It's like you've got 2 or 3 ostinatos just. You start out with one, then you add the other one, and you increase the intensity of it over and over and over.
How do you know who to?
Barbaric.
How do you know who to hit? Are the guys wearing masks? Is it mask versus non-masks or something?
I mean, you can kind of tell who's better armed.
All right, it's been a little while since I've seen this. I'm taking that the Olive Reed character. Is he Jewish?
No, he's Roman.
Oh, okay, because he was wearing I thought he was wearing a yarmulke. Was it some sort of a yarmulke?
Well, okay, I mean, yeah, he could be Jewish and still be Roman.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Still a Roman citizen. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay, that might tie into like the.
But he's a retired gladiator.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not. Actually, no, there was a big problem. This is probably after that fact. They burned down the temple. They destroyed the temple. It was a big thing. All right.
See how you've got like one musical idea here, and they're going to add on another one here in a second?
Mm-hmm.
And Hans Zimmer just keeps upping the intensity of it.
I think this was the first Hans Zimmer score I ever heard. Was in this movie.
That just hurts me to. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, AL, how are you?
Well, thank you for stopping in.
We're trying to be educational tonight.
Oh, please.
Diving into Roman history.
Oh, man. No, yeah. Do I have a book on Roman history on the shelf somewhere that I can reach over and grab real quick, maybe, so I can? Like,
and now just the contrast. Maximus was fighting a gladiator fight in far off country town. Now we're back at Rome with Commodus coming in to this huge crowd, flowers being thrown at his feet, horse-drawn carriage, well, chariot, not really carriage, white clothing, go to tournament. I mean, the contrast between them is just day and night.
I want to be emperor.
And he knows the people don't really love him. They're there because they have to be.
Well, maybe he's going to give him some bread and circuses, right?
Yeah. He's kind of like I can't say this without sounding bad. He's like a 16-year-old girl on like the internet who has daddy issues. She just wants someone to love her and give her attention. That's all Commodus is. He just wants someone to love him and give him attention.
Well, and these are the senators, right?
Yeah.
They're not liking him, are they?
I think people will like what they might do for him.
I think this is Connie Nelson's son, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's usually like Karo syrup with red food coloring. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Hans Zimmer said he wanted the Roman scenes like this to sound like Wagner, and he went with a more grander scale. Like all the Roman scenes in this movie are shot with looked like a blue filter. Even when they were in Germania, it had a blue tinge to it. And he just looked so bored playing with a sword. Like, do I have to be here?
I know. Oh, here we go. Books and learning and philosophy. Oh, no.
And this is a pretty good representation of how Commodus was. He had no interest in ruling Rome. He had every interest in the perks that came with it.
Yeah.
But he assigned all the duties to various other people, and they took advantage of it. And they did not do a good job. And then when his sister tried to have him killed, it just made him go a little bit crazy.
People are my children, and I shall. Okay.
She does a nice job of diffusing the situation. Just let me slide in and be like, hey, let's just give me your concerns. And here he is acting like a pissed off teenager.
Well, it's sort of what he is, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you know, back then, if you're 20, you probably have a child or two.
Oh yeah.
And his world wasn't like it is today.
No, the world is.
You grow up fast.
Our world, the adolescence gets extended and continues to get extended.
Like 35
50,
or so?
50 probably. I don't know. I'm telling you.
I'm glad this did win for best costume design.
So, is our hero in this an aspirational hero?
I think so. I mean, the definition of an aspirational hero, I wish Professor Keith was here to correct me or not, is someone who you would aspire to and has noble attributes, correct?
Yes.
And like I said with Cincinnatus, he was the archetype for the Roman civic duty and virtue. Maximus embodies those virtues. He does not seek power or privilege, but he does seek to do his duty for Rome.
Mm.
Commodus, on the other hand, is just he's a spoiled brat. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, he even admitted to his father, he's like, I don't have the virtues that you talk about, but I have other virtues like ambition.
Gladiators.
And ambition can be a good thing, but it's a double-edged sword. If you're ambitious to the point of hurting your fellow man so you can get ahead, that's not a good thing. And Commodus is definitely hurting people. I mean, he strangled his father.
Yes.
And that was the guy that played, you say Claudius?
Yes, Derek Jacobi. That's the actor's name. He looks like a Roman.
He's still alive. He's like 83, 84, I think.
Yeah. He's been alive for a while. Yeah. It's the sand of the Colosseum. He'll bring them death. Yep. Well, he's not wrong there, is he?
I mean, now we have Facebook and Twitter. Think about it. What, distract people with entertainment.
Yeah, you know what? I'd rather have the gladiatorial games, okay, because they're more interesting. I'm sorry. All right, hold on. I'm curious about something here. Spaniard. They keep calling him a Spaniard.
And do you see here? He's already got the respect of all these other people.
Yep. Kind of curious about the sound.
And that's truly the mark of a good leader. You have to gain people's respect and trust. And you can't make someone respect you. They either do or they don't.
Okay. So when you get stuff off of Google, do you watch it through YouTube? Is that how that works?
It's Google Play. It's an app on the tablet.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I can download it or just have it in my library. Normally I download it because sometimes there's buffering issues.
Look at that. He chopped his head off.
More of a curiosity here. They were concerned about the beheading there, but they were told since you don't see the guy's face, it's okay. Which makes perfect sense. Doesn't that make perfect sense?
He's got a point. It's funny, in Japanese video games, you can't have a beheading in a game. Like in the one Resident Evil game where like the one police officer gets his head knocked off by one of the rednecks. He in the Japanese version, it's more like he gets stabbed in the head, because you can't actually have a decapitation. It's some rule in their games. I don't know what it is, like no decapitations. Spaniard.
It's just like wrestling, he's like he throws his sword, he's like, are you not entertaining? He spits on the ground, he's like, I hate all you people. And they're like, yeah,
I know,
yeah, we love you.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin of his day. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go. Is that a hyena?
Yeah, I would never keep a hyena as a pet.
No.
I just no way.
Might keep a fox as a pet. That might be fun. I don't know.
They're destructive.
Yeah, you got to keep mouse. You can't keep them in the house. I know that much.
But a fox isn't going to kill you.
No.
A hyena will eat you alive.
Yeah. The Joker had pet hyenas, you know, on Batman the
Did he
Animated
have them in the
Series.
comic book or just like the?
I don't know if it was on the cartoon. I'm sure they brought him in the comic book at some point. But yeah, he had pet hyenas. He's an intense actor.
He is, and it's like I'm like you're kind of crazy too.
What's his name again?
Proximo.
Yeah, Proximo. I mean, what's the actor's name again?
Uh,
I'm always forgetting his name. I swear. I don't know.
I always want to call him Oliver Cromwell, but that's not it.
Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed.
Oliver
Oliver
Reed.
Reed. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oliver Reed. He was in the Oliver musical movie.
Really?
He played.
Ironic.
I think he played Bill Sykes in that movie. Yeah.
Now the Aurelius here, the wooden sword that he has that was given him by Marcus Aurelius. In the original draft, Proximo was going to live to the end of the movie, and he was going to bury the sword in the Colosseum at the end of the movie. But because he died, they had to change it up.
The actor died.
Yeah.
Did they shoot all the essential scenes with him at least?
Not his death scene. They had to write that in, and they CG'd part of
course.
it. And they used to you see him from behind only when he's killed.
And then maybe they have a. Okay, yeah, well, we'll get to that scene. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Spoiler warning for everyone. Yeah.
But whatever. It's how old is this movie now? 20 years old at this point? Come on.
21. This May
I'm
or
feeling
June.
old. I'm feeling so old now. Okay. Have you ever seen Kingdom of Heaven?
Yes.
I think I finally got the Blu-ray of that. Apparently, the director's cut is way different.
Then I should probably watch the director's cut.
You didn't care for it. I take it the theatrical cut.
I was like, Ridley Scott Crusade movie, hell yeah! And I was like,
they say the director's cut's much better. For starters, the Orlando Bloom character, the priest he kills at the beginning of the movie, is actually his brother. Okay, you know, which they kind of excite. No, not in real life. In the movie, it was supposed to be his brother, and they didn't mention that in the theatrical version. So it actually brought more, or maybe his half brother or something. Like it added weight to what he did. My wife is preparing food. My daughter's carrying water.
This is a very good scene right here. Because he's like, do you think you'll see him again when you die? That's the basis of his character. And he's like, yeah, but I'll die soon, and they won't die for many years. And then Maximus is like, well, my family is already gone, and they're waiting for me.
Now, gladiators could eventually win their freedom, right?
He could.
I think. Sometimes.
Or someone could buy it, or if they win enough money, they could buy it themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, some people were just put in the Coliseum and like, you're going to go in there, and if you don't die today, we'll just put you back tomorrow. So.
You might get a kick out of the HBO series Rome. You might want to check.
I've got it on DVD.
Yeah.
I heard they had to really consolidate the last season.
They did, and they switched the actor who plays Augustus. Like, he starts out as the boy, and then like midway through the season, he's like aged 10 years. You know, it's like a different actor. It's like, or Octavian, as he was called. Then Octavian becomes Augustus. Yeah, but yeah. Would you like to live in ancient Rome?
No. Well, do I have other options I have to pick?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think it's better than the some of the Middle Ages. You know, especially like
yeah.
Like I know in the Middle Ages they were always wanting Rome back. They always looked fondly on Rome, like that was the peak, and like everything fell apart. I know that they would often talk about that. Things get better in the Middle Ages as time goes by, though. Like they make a point, like if You know. What if we'll ever have another middle age type scenario again in our planet? Who knows,
Oh,
right?
I mean, I remember growing up, my mother would always tell me, like, you just don't know how good you got it. And I'm like, whatever. It's like, yeah, she's right.
To a point. We'll see how what the next couple of years brings for us. We didn't have a pandemic growing up. I'll say that. There's the Coliseum.
Yeah, true. But even so, I mean, I'm doing better than a lot of people.
That's true. Especially we're doing better than a lot of people now, probably.
Yeah.
At least you don't live in Seattle, right?
Yeah, I would move.
Or Portland.
I would, yeah.
Or with the whole. Okay. There's River. There's his lip. How did that happen? Did he get into an accident or something? Was it like a scar?
I don't know.
He's made it work.
See, and you wonder, what's going through his mind?
That's what I'm wondering. Can I get a? Well, I don't know what's going through his mind. Sleeps so well because he's loved. Oh, here we go. Come now, it's better to be feared than loved.
And she's knowing at this point, something's got to be done with my brother. And that would be like a horrible place to be in.
What's in the tonic?
Empty bottle. It was lemonade.
Okay.
No,
it's on the screen. I meant. She's giving him a tonic.
Oh, yeah. Something to help him sleep.
I had a lemonade at a restaurant called Skillets the other day. Do they have them where you're at, where you live?
Mm-mm.
It's like a breakfast lunch place. I got the biscuits and gravy.
Mm.
It was all right. I probably should have gone with the pancakes, though. You get your pancakes made any way you want. I got banana almond pancakes one week.
Dang.
Yeah.
He's like, stay with me tonight. She's like, well, I'm not going to do that. She's like, well, just kiss me.
No, let's not go there. Okay. I think even that was frowned upon. Even then,
I tried watching Game of Thrones, but I just couldn't get into it.
It's not for everyone, but I'm curious, how far did you get in it?
Halfway through one episode.
Okay. It gets...
A lot of people were getting decapitated, and I'm just like, Well,
what episode did you watch? That wasn't the first episode, was it?
Yeah, first episode.
Oh, that was the guy. Oh no, that was the guy that ran away from the wall. That was treason.
Yeah.
What happens is if you're a criminal, you get. I think you have the option of getting sent to, or if you're a criminal, you have I think sometimes you'll have an option of getting sent to the wall to guard the wall. Okay. Which I guess is better than going to jail or getting executed. I guess they don't have jail. You either go to the wall or you get executed. Okay. So,
well, okay.
Sometimes people used to volunteer to go to the wall though. Okay. Like I think Jon Snow was volunteering to go to the wall in that show. I think it was supposed to be based on Hadrian's Wall, actually, but Game of Thrones isn't for everyone. If it's a gore thing, no, okay, just stay away. It gets worse, okay, than what you saw in that first episode. And
I heard the final season just went completely off the rails.
it did. I don't think they were following what the original author intended, because the original author has not written the rest of the books yet.
I don't think he is he?
He's trying to, apparently. I wouldn't want that kind of pressure.
Have you done your show with Professor Geek yet?
Not yet.
Show?
We wanted to do one last week after our stream, but unfortunately I was working the next morning because once a month I have to go in we have to do a meeting at my job. So I had to work that Thursday morning, so I didn't want to put too much on that evening before I went to bed. But I'll talk to him maybe next week after our stream if he wants to do it. I'll bring it up to him to see if he's available. Because if I didn't have to work the next day, it wouldn't have been an issue, but I did.
Now he knows.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm thinking about breakfast. You got breakfast? You be thinking about breakfast?
I might go to Cracker Barrel tomorrow.
I wonder what they got. If they have any specials going on this time of year. They don't have the Southern Fried Turkey anymore. I'm sure they probably got rid of that.
No, that's just like the Thanksgiving thing.
I know. I have to admit, the costume. This win anything for costume design?
Academy Award Best Costume.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would have given it to this.
See, I never saw a trailer for this film back in the day. You know, when it came out, all I knew was Ridley Scott directed it, and that was enough for me.
I knew it was coming out, and I knew it was going to be a Roman movie, and I was very excited because I wanted to see. I always liked Roman stuff. I mean, I wasn't obsessed with it, but I was always interested in it, so I was curious.
I had a coworker that saw it, and she came to work, and she was just complaining. She's like, "This movie's about nothing but killing, and it's horrible." And people were cheering, and I'm like, well, okay, let me go check it out. And I'm like, did we watch the same movie? Because I don't think this movie's about killing at all. This movie's about honor, you know. And
if you ever watch The Sopranos, one of the gangsters on that show, one of the guys on it was a big fan of Gladiator after it came out, and he kept talking about it all the time. Okay,
on the show.
Yeah, on the show, and like he was at Tony's, he kept bringing up Gladiator. And then, like Tony's in-laws saying, "We didn't like that movie. You know what we liked? As Good as It Gets. That was a good movie." And then the husband says, "I didn't care for it. What are you talking? You love that movie." Remember As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson? I don't know if you saw that or not.
With Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt. Yep, she was in that.
Yeah. She got an Academy Award, I think.
All right. What would we want? I think you want the double meat breakfast. No, just doesn't come with pancakes though.
Yeah.
No, it comes with all the fixings, whatever that means. What does all the fixings mean?
Biscuits, gravy, grits.
All right. What else we got here? All the fixings include buttermilk biscuits, sawmill gravy, plus butter and the best Dickinson's preserves jams we could find. Okay. Or substitute your hash brown casserole with our loaded hash brown casserole. Okay, whatever. Okay. Uncle Herschel's favorite. 2 far fresh eggs. Where are the pancakes?
So they're doing the Battle of Carthage here, and they're supposed to be Hannibal's army, which lost the Battle of Carthage.
Really? I see.
It's
like a reenactment.
Like one of the few battles that Hannibal lost, but that was the final battle that he lost. It was kind of pretty much all over after that.
I like his mask, don't you?
Seems like it would bother my nose.
Well, it's important for when he runs into the Emperor later, right? He's like, "Who
True.
are you? Who do I call you?" And he says, "Gladiator," right?
And these guys are supposed to be Scipio Africanus' army. And Scipio was regarded as one of Rome's greatest generals ever.
You could do the
And
grandma.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, he does a fine job of pulling these guys together in like no time at all. That's the mark of a good leader.
Well, he's had experience in it.
He has.
It's not like he has to be. I mean, he's getting trained. I mean, I'm sure he had training as a gladiator, but he's had training as a soldier too. You know, I mean, that won't breastplate armor, right? Did I see breastplate
What's
armor?
wrong with breastplate armor?
No, I don't know. We'll get into trouble for that, right?
Only if it's Star Wars.
Only if it's Star Wars, yes. When are we going to do the Force Awakens rewatch, huh?
I think we should do all 9 Star Wars movies in order.
Oh man, come on! Oh no.
Star Wars, Empire, Jedi, then Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, and then the final 3.
The final 3, yeah, the final 3. I want to be the dude with the reddish hair, or is that a wig? I don't know.
It's a wig. The music here is pretty much reused from the battle scene, but Hans Zimmer said he wrote like a suite for the battle scene, and then the editor just fit it in with the movie. Yeah, that's pretty bloody. Ow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, at one point they flooded the Colosseum and put in naval ships to fight.
Oh, that would have been neat, huh?
Yeah, they said it turned the water was turned red by the end of the day.
Oh my goodness. But the crowd was happy, right?
I'm sure they were. Lots of popcorn was sold that day, and lots of Coca-Cola.
They have no corn. Isn't corn American?
Yeah, I'm just being funny.
Whatever. Yeah, they sold popcorn.
Chris P brings up a good point. The original trilogy, then the prequel trilogy, and you're finished. It's only 6 films.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
One thing about Commodus, because he was sole emperor for 10 years, he did have a lot of gladiator fights, and he would actually go out and fight gladiators.
Like actual gladiators?
Yeah, but they were handicapped before the fight.
Of course.
They were never fair fights. They
it's
were
not really
blunt weapons and drugs but it made him look good. I mean, that's what's important, right?
Yeah, well, that is what's important.
Look good for the crowd.
It's good for the crowd. All right.
And he's so right. The barbarian should lose the Battle of Carthage, but
yeah. Who is he? They call him the Spaniard, sire.
Hey, sound engraver's in the house.
Oh, sound engraver. Have you ever seen Gladiator? What's she saying?
She says she has not. Well, I'm trying to cover a lot of Roman history tonight, sound engraver. So it's probably the most educational show I've done so far. But thank you for stopping by as always. Thank you.
All right. So what you getting at Cracker Barrel tomorrow?
Probably 2 sausage biscuits and plain hash browns.
There you go.
The waitress that I usually have, she got diagnosed with cancer right before Christmas.
Oh, that's horrible.
She so I usually go like once a week, and we always talk. She was complaining that her back hurt. She thought she pulled something, and she went to the doctor, and they did X-rays, and they found cancer.
Is it operable, or I guess I don't know.
They're hoping, which doesn't sound good.
Okay.
And she's in her late 60s.
Wow.
And she's a heavy smoker.
Wow.
Her sister died a year ago from cancer.
Rise. Oh, look, he's thinking about it, isn't he?
He's got an arrow tip. And honestly, I think Lucius saved his life that day, because if Lucius wasn't there, that'd be going to his throat.
He dead.
Yeah.
You have a name? How dare you show your back to me? Here we go. Oh, man.
One time, I saw this in the theater lots of times. And one time, there's this guy sitting behind me, and when he turns around, he's like, "Oh man, he just pooped his pants." It's like, yeah, I think he did. But also Quintus has to know that he's probably in some trouble here too, because he was told to kill him.
Hey, we found him, but his head was all half rotten away, right? That's what he said.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene where they execute some people for the fact that Maximus escaped, and Quintus tells Commodus, he's like, "Well, we thought it was a raiding party from the Germans. We didn't know." And Commodus wasn't having. He's like, "Nah, people gotta die."
All right, Daniel, I apologize. I have to go use the little boys' room.
That's fine.
Okay,
I'll hang out till you return.
Talk to the chat. I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna mute my end, and I'll mute it when I get back. All right, I'll be right back.
I have not seen the I, Claudius miniseries, Big Al. I probably should watch it. An actually interesting thing, my Latin teacher in college said, thumbs up meant kill them, and thumbs down meant don't kill them. He said Hollywood always got that wrong. I like the heroic swell of music we get here, because you know he did good. Has anyone been to Rome in the chat? Just curious if anyone's been in the Colosseum or Rome in general. I would love to go to Rome. I want to give a shout out to someone if you're watching tonight. Alistair, Mr. Ferrari Man, friend of mine. He had a birthday 2 days ago. Happy birthday. Thank you for always watching. And of course, Commodus right now is not happy that everyone is chanting Maximus. and there's a cut scene where it shows Commodus going up to a bust of his father and just destroying it with a sword. I think that would have been a good scene to have left in. Never been to Rome. We should do like a Professor Geek field trip to Rome. Get like a group rate. Although I don't think right now they'll let you into Rome. But when they do let you back into Rome. Yeah. Thank you, Big Al. I guess my Latin professor was right. Although I never liked that man. I always felt he was hitting on me. He always made me feel uncomfortable. That's my Me Too moment from college. My Latin professor, I think he had the hots for me. Ugh, did not have the hots for him.
Okay, what did I step into? Okay.
I was talking about my creepy Latin teacher from college. I always felt like he was hitting on me.
Yeah, that can happen. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, Commons did had a Kylo Ren moment that was cut from the film. I wish they left that in. I think that would have played well.
Yeah, he's got to go.
It would.
Huh?
I would hate just to, like, am I going to get killed tonight or tomorrow or next week? That would really just grate your soul. And of course, the line he's about to say is priceless. Like, I knew your brother would send his assassins. I didn't know he would send his best. It's like, ooh, that's a low blow. See, he has a very simpler view of the world than what she does. So you think she's being completely honest here, or you think she's kind of playing him in a way?
I think she's being honest. I think she actually does fear for her son. I think that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and she should. But she is kind of scheming.
Santa Engraver's going to record a SNES soundtrack video. I don't know if there are any Roman-themed Super Nintendo games. I can't think of any off the top of my head. They haven't done a lot with Roman in video games, I've noticed. I'm not sure why.
What's SNES? Is that
Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, okay.
Super Nintendo for short. Most people just call it Super Nintendo.
I was thinking Sega something. Anyway.
That was the competitor, Sega Genesis. And you can buy a mini version of a Sega Genesis still, and it comes with 42 games on it.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, they would do more video games set in ancient Greece, I think, than Rome. They would do that. Man of principle. She's trying to guilt him now, right?
Yeah. The orchestra for the score was the Lyndhurst Orchestra. It's named after a historic Methodist church in London. They're actually located in close by.
Huh.
I'd never heard of them before. Hans Zimmer gets credit for using synthesizers all the time, but he doesn't. He actually does use orchestras.
Huh.
But he did not do the conducting of the orchestra.
I see. What's Russell Crowe been up to lately?
Not much.
I guess nobody's up to anything. He'll surprise you though. Like he'll disappear and you think his career's over, and he's in something pretty good. I liked him in I think it was called The Next 3 Days. That was an interesting movie. Yeah, it's kind of like a reverse prison escape movie. He's trying to break his wife out of prison, as opposed to someone inside trying to break themselves out.
See, now people call him General instead of Spaniard, so he's got his title back with the people.
Yep. What are they eating there? Beans?
Oh, whatever you're fed.
Oh, look, he's tasting his food. Look. Gotta
have a sense of humor.
Yes.
One thing I saw, Hans Zimmer gave an interview in I think it was 2001, and he said Gladiator, Driving Miss Daisy, and The Thin Red Line were his 3 favorite film scores that he's done.
Okay.
But I thought it was odd that The Lion King wasn't listed in there because he actually won an Academy Award for Lion King.
Right. Which Lion King? The original?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do the score for the remake as well?
I think so. Yeah.
The remake. I couldn't even bring myself to watch the remake.
I don't understand how it was considered live action when it was.
Because we're living in a world where all words lose their meaning. Okay, all right, okay. Oh, is this the bread? The bread in the circuses?
Yeah, you throw bread to get people excited.
I have a question. When you throw bread at the audience, do they eat the bread there, or do they bring it home for later?
I guess it depends how hungry you are.
I mean, that's the thing. Is that like the popcorn?
Yeah.
Of that day? I don't know. Yeah, on that Rome HBO series, the one calling, "Oh, good bread." This, what?
We don't realize how important bread was to dietary consumption back then.
Yes,
the cost of bread skyrocketing is one of the primary causes of the French Revolution.
Yeah. I learned horrible things about the bread in Victorian London. They would put all sorts of things in it. Like they would do stuff to make white bread look white. Like, I don't know if they would put powders and stuff in it. It's just, Yes, well, bread has carbs and it makes you feel good too. So after you eat it, think of that when you're having your biscuits tomorrow. Okay.
I don't think much about carbs. I'm not fan man.
Yes.
This is supposed to be like a definite one-sided fight. It doesn't go well.
They're eating beans and a reenactment of the scene from Blazing Saddles. Sound Engraver is recording the video on the first 3 stages of Donkey Kong Country. Do you want to talk about expensive scores? You know how much a CD of the Donkey Kong soundtrack goes for now?
175.
I'll find out for you. Because they can only be ordered through like a Nintendo catalog you got with Nintendo Power back in the day. Okay, they weren't even sold in stores. Okay, and I stupidly bought it on audio tape instead of CD because I didn't have a CD player at the time. Okay, so I'm curious, and they even had one that came with all three of the soundtracks to it. I could have gotten that, and I didn't. Keep in mind, this is before the days of the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
Before it was widely
days.
used, yes. I'll find out for you. Hold on.
And these are real tigers, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The I don't know if it was a stuntman or one of the handlers, but got bit in the arm by one of the tigers and lost part of his flesh.
Okay, this is just that's a soundtrack for the trilogy of all three soundtracks. The pack they released of that, $1,400.
Holy crap!
Okay, I'm looking for just the first game though. First game soundtrack. I can't even find it on here. All right, I can't find out. Like one for part 3 though. I think they have one for Donkey Kong Country 3. It goes for $164.95, just the disc. Okay. But yeah, oh man, a brand new disc goes for $300 for Donkey Kong Country 3. They don't have the other ones either. Okay, interesting. You think Nintendo would take the hint and
re-release them?
Yep.
Yeah. That's like one of the longest running discussions in all soundtrack forums. Is like, why don't they just re-release this?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, here we go. DK Jam CD, $108 from Germany. How did it end up in Germany? Okay. Okay. This is the German version of the soundtrack. I don't want to be a gladiator.
I don't either. I would like a complete score to Gladiator on CD if
what's that?
La La Land or Entrada or Versera Band or whomever is listening to this show.
There are scores I want on CD too. I'm trying to think of scores that I've been wanting that don't exist. Hold on. What's he gonna do? Kill.
He's just like, nah, I don't think so.
Dude, the Emperor just told you. Now, historians learned later on that the thumbs down meant the opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
We've learned that since then, but like up until then, they thought thumbs down meant kill, thumbs up meant keep alive, where it was actually the opposite. There is a tiger on the field.
It's chained.
His colors have changed, haven't they? You know, our beloved Emperor, right?
Yeah.
It's much darker than what we've seen up until now. Here we go. This is where the villain goes to the hero. We're not so different, you and I.
He gets really, really cruel here.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk away, and then he starts talking about his family
Yep.
getting killed.
That's what you
It's like
do.
that's
That's what you do. It's like in Batman Begins when the guy says, I heard your father, before he
begged like a
before he
dog.
died, he begged like a
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, you'll say that to get your hero rattled. Do you own any of the Nolan Batman soundtracks? I think Hans Zimmer did those,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I've got all three of them. It was Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard on the first one, and I think just Hans Zimmer on the last two.
Yep.
Connie Nielsen's like 55 now.
Yeah.
So she would have been like 35 when this was made.
Yep. Saw her in The Ice Harvest with John Cusack.
Was that any good?
I liked it at the time. It's a Christmas movie. It takes place at Christmas time.
Like Die Hard.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not really a Christmas movie. It just takes place at Christmas time. I don't know. I was very happy though. I got in the mail. I did one of my most recent soundtrack acquisitions wasn't a movie soundtrack. It was a game soundtrack for the Super Nintendo game ActRaiser. Okay.
What's that
and the game. What is the game about?
Yeah.
Well, how can I put this? Your character is called the Master, and you fight off demons, and then you help out the land and help the people raise crops. Essentially, you're basically playing a deity, basically. Okay, In fact, even I think in fact, in the American version, the bad guy's called Tanzra, but I think in Japan he's called Satan. Okay, I mean, you're basically playing God in the game. Okay, but it's interesting. And but it has a really epic score, and in the CD set came with the Super Nintendo soundtrack, right? The Super Nintendo had a very good sound chip. Sony had designed it, okay, and but the second disc is a full-on orchestra doing the score, doing the soundtrack to the game, and it's really neat to hear like actual instruments playing the same music, But the game. What's interesting about the game is though you'll basically have a level. It'd be like a side-scrolling platforming level where you fight off the monsters, and then you clear the area, and then you go to this above world thing, and you basically help build up the town. Build up the city, and the people make temples to you, and they grow crops, and you clear land for them, and it's really weird. And then like you fight, then like the demons start invading the town. Then you have to stop the demons and go into the lair and defeat the boss. And it's an interesting little Super Nintendo game. There's nothing quite like it. It's like part action game, part simulation game.
Okay.
But it had a really great score. Yuzo Koshiro did it. He's really evil at this point, don't you think?
Yeah. He still does a pretty good job of being somewhat sympathetic.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. Well, that's the thing. You can have layered villains, okay? The problem with a lot of modern Hollywood movies is all the villains. They always have to make the villains as awful as they can be, and I think that's because you know, you have Venom. Well, Venom's not so bad, you know, and I think honestly that's a reflection of the people making these movies. Another reason why they can't understand someone like Superman. Okay, they they think everyone has these gives into their flaws and vices all the time. You know, that's what they think out there. I think Ridley Scott can be hit or miss.
Yeah, he kind of can.
What have I seen by him that I think I almost I laughed as I came out of the theater. I think it was his Robin Hood. Did you see Robin Hood by Ridley Scott?
I started to watch it and I fell asleep and I never went back to it. I was
There's
I was very tired that night, and usually, I mean, even once I like sit down for the night or lie down for the night, it's over. I mean, I'm out.
because they had Russell Crowe playing I guess Robin of Locksley, or who would be Robin of Locksley, and they had Kate Blanchett playing Maid Marian. And you
Yeah,
know, nothing against these actors, they're good looking people. These are supposed to be young characters, okay? Robin Hood is young, okay? He's a revolutionary. Revolutionaries are they're the young people, okay? You don't have Russell Crowe play them, okay?
I
And
I
it's just,
remember thinking it had a lot of beautiful dogs in the film.
it was trying to be like a very like true to history story about Robin Hood, okay? And I
Yeah,
kind of I get that. It still could have been better than what we got. For starters, we don't get the Sheriff of Nottingham as the villain. We don't really even get. I think maybe Prince John's in the movie. Yeah, I think Prince John's in the movie. I think, but we end up getting a Frenchman as the villain. Okay, so some French guy who's played by the guy who always plays the villains. That one British actor,
um,
the one who played the villain in the first Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
oh,
He
okay,
played Sinestro in the Green Lantern. Forget Mark Strong.
okay. I was
I
thinking
don't know if
about
that's his name. I don't know, but just
the
something like
guy that
that.
played um Krenric in Rogue One.
No, he's another one who always plays villains, though. He's the other
Okay.
British actor I always see playing villains. In fact, is he in this? The guy who played
No,
Fenric. I could have swore I saw him, but maybe like a younger version, but I could be wrong. All those Brits look alike, you know. I'm sorry. Let him bring the. Let him bring. What then? I'll take over. Okay.
and see, he says I'll do it and I'll leave. When it's done, it's done.
So once
Which is
all of
the
Rome is
which is
yours,
the heart of Roman virtue right there.
why? It's the last wish of a dying man.
Good night, Melissa. Thank you for coming by. Thank you always for coming by. You're always so nice to come by for the
Have a
show.
good night, Melissa.
I hope the power thing gets sorted out.
Well, thank you for visiting us for as long as you did. I know it's a bit of a long movie, but we're getting toward the end, though, here. Actually, I will say this: that game Actors has a very classical aesthetic to it, and the music also, and how it looks too. You know.
Yeah. And Gracchus made a good point. The only military allowed inside Rome was the Praetorian Guards.
Yep.
And they were sworn to protect the emperor.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't even allowed to bring armies within a certain mileage of Rome. And Julius Caesar, when he crossed, was it the Rubicon? He crossed the Rubicon, and that's why that was a big no-no. You don't do that. That was a really big deal because he brought his army that close to Rome.
Oh. I will kill Commodus.
And he's being very pragmatic here. Like, hey, I'm making money. I'm an entertainer. So.
Well, that's funny.
Oh, you killed the man that set you free. I need more Roman busts in my life. I only have 2.
You only have 2?
Yeah.
They used to sell down south. They used to sell busts of General Lee.
Yeah.
I would assume that it's General Grant in the North States. Maybe they bust of General Grant. Do you like the outfits the Roman women wore?
Lucilla looks very nice in everything she wears. Yeah. I think I would get tired of wearing breastplate armor every day.
Well, I would imagine you have thin plate armor too. That's ceremonial. It's not heavy, you know.
Yeah.
He's looking worse, I'm telling you.
Ridley Scott said in one of the commentaries that they did try to make him look sickly by using makeup.
Was he like losing his mind, maybe?
Yeah.
So I don't know. See, if I were the emperor, I'd be living it up. Okay, I'd be having parties. You know, wine, women, and song. You know the like, right?
Oh, he had lots of women in real life. So.
That was always the Tales from the Crypt comics. You know, you'd have the one guy that, you know, like he wants the inheritance now, so he murders his dad or something, and then like, oh, now I get to enjoy wine, women, and song, you know, and it's like, and then usually something bad happens. Like usually the person who murders comes back and gets them, you know. That's the usual thing. Yeah, this is awkward.
It did happen more than you would think, though.
Probably. That was the rumor thing with Caligula.
I think he would probably tap anything that walked.
Caligula was disturbed.
Or walked at some point.
Yes. Did he make a horse a senator?
I think so.
You know why? That horse always voted the same way. Nay. Okay. All right. I'm running out of steam. Okay. Where are the Christians at this point? They must be about. Okay. I mean, what century is this supposed to be taking place?
The Christians are still.
They're being persecuted?
A sect of the Jewish. They weren't really Christians at this point.
Yeah, I don't know when this is taking place. I know they would draw the fish symbol to keep the identity secret of the group, right? That's where that comes from, because when they were being persecuted.
So it'd be like roughly 150 years after the crucifixion of Jesus.
It was Constantine, right? He's the one that converted the Republic.
He converted,
the Empire. I mean, the Empire, yeah.
And like the main reason for that was because so much of the army was converting to Christianity, and he needed the support of the army, and that was the best way to do it.
Well, I think his wife was Christian, and I think he basically said, "Look, I think I don't know who he was fighting, but they were going to fight a battle that would determine the future of the empire." And he said, "Okay, I'll paint crosses on their shields. If we win the battle, I'll take that as a sign, and we'll convert the empire. And they said that he did not convert until his deathbed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was because I don't know if he had a harem or something, or if he had something going on.
I think he was being the politician.
Okay,
And,
yeah. He didn't convert till his deathbed.
I don't like to question any man's motives for faith, but
No,
he was probably being the politician that he was bred to be, and
no way it counts. I mean, it totally counts.
yeah, I mean the end result, I guess, is what matters in that case.
Yeah.
The empire did convert, and
there's Russell Crowe.
And this is the closest you get to like a love scene in the movie.
I know. I think he does have feelings for her, but it's not.
Oh yeah, I think they both have feelings for each other, but he's still thinking about his wife.
Pity, in a perfect world, he could marry her, be a dad to her son. You know, it would work out perfectly. But you know,
I think he realizes the track he's on. He's like, I'm gonna have to kill Commodus, and I'll either die in the process or I'll just go away afterwards. But they make a good looking couple.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you hear about the sequel they had written for this film?
What? No.
Yes. It is like bat pooping crazy, but I would, if I had $200 million, I would like go make this movie.
How are they doing a sequel?
Oh, Maximus dies and he goes to the afterlife. And like the Roman gods are like, you know, people don't believe us anymore. And he has to go to Hades to get his family out. And it's like crazy.
Are you kidding me?
No. They wrote the script, but Russell Crowe just never would commit to it.
Yeah, I wonder why. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I mean, how many times is a sequel just like the first one, only they put a 2 next to it? It's just completely out of left field.
Sounds like Clash of the Titans. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of Clash of the Titans, but
I don't know.
I'll send you the video.
Ridley Scott would have made it too. He would have made it.
Ridley Scott was all about it. Yeah, but it never worked out.
This was the early 2000s. We were getting obsessed with Roman stuff. They kept doing. I wonder if that had anything to do with the War on Terror. If that was a response to that, I don't know. I mean, this was before then, right? So, but.
Yeah, actually it was.
You know what? Yeah, the United States had just come off winning the Cold War too, so we had that going for us. So yeah, I could see the interest. He's a very clever little boy. Make a grand emperor one day. The queen killed herself with a snake.
You know the part in the movie in the Coliseum where he when he takes his helmet off and he says who he is and he's the general of the Felix Legions. It's actually the 4th Legion. It's the name that the 4th Legion had, and that was actually under Mark Antony at one point in time.
Yes, Mark Antony made a crucial error. He had his battle with Octavian at sea. But he was not a naval expert. Nobody knows why he did it. He was land.
We all make bad choices. I mean,
that's a one beef I have to admit I have with that Rome show. It ends with one episode with them about to have the battle, and then it begins with the aftermath of the battle.
What?
Because they didn't have the budget to show the battle. That's why. Okay, not happy. Show me the battle. One of the things I liked about Game of Thrones, we would get a battle each season. Okay, you would get a major battle each season.
I watched Outlaw King on the Netflix like last week or week before last. It's about Robert the Bruce, and I thought for sure they were going to show the Battle of Bangkok Burn because at the start of that battle, Robert the Bruce rode out on his horse, and he had his axe, and the big English guy came galloping across to meet him, and he just took that axe, boom, right in the guy's head, split the handle. Axe got stuck in the guy's head. I mean, he died, of course, but they didn't. They didn't show that battle in the movie. I was like, I was wanting to see this.
No, I get annoyed with that. Show the battles, okay? I'm sorry, it's what I'm paying for. Oh no. That's why people don't trust the serpent, right? Jeez.
And here we're pretty much reusing the same battle music we've heard the previous 2 times in the film.
Yeah. Gets the keys. I like that. You in danger of becoming a good. Oh man. Okay. There we go. So when do you want to do the Troy rewatch? No, I don't.
Did you like Troy?
It was all right. I saw it once in the theater. I was kind of like,
They had a good friendship in this film.
yeah.
And of course, any of these guys that lived through this battle would get crucified.
Yep.
And probably the very next day, because Rome didn't wait around.
I think the only game I have with Romans in it is Spartan Total War, where you're playing as the Spartans and you're fighting the Romans, and I'm thinking the Spartans run around.
Yeah, I don't.
That happened. Okay, you're playing with history there. Okay.
What about goat people?
Goat people?
Wasn't there a goat person in 300?
I think so. That was the Persians, right? They were fighting.
Yeah. So yeah, the scene where Proximo gets killed was that's not really him. That's a stand-in.
And they must have used something with him, another piece of footage where he says shadows and dust. It works, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no! And that's a bad way to go. Getting shot up with arrows. Oh, no.
And stabbed from both sides.
Yeah, that's not a way I would want to die, would be being shot up with arrows. That's a bad way to go. On that Robin of Sherwood series, I like Robin's father gets shot full of arrows with crossbows by the guy who eventually becomes the sheriff of Nottingham. He gets all shot up. Oh. Nope. Is that like a...
Yeah, that's a bad situation to be in.
Yep.
On my CDs.
Huh?
On the second soundtrack release, which is a lot of experimental stuff, there's a song it's called "The Light of Rome" or
The Light of Rome?
Rome is the Light. Yeah, track number 8. It's just Lisa Gerrard singing. I'm guessing it's Latin. My Latin really sucks, but I wish it was in the film.
Commodus the Merciful.
They say he's one of the best villains ever on film.
No. He's not bad, but I run into worse villains on film. Well, if we do Fistful of Dollars next, we'll have a decent villain. Of course, the worst one is in the sequel. But I think, oddly enough, I think they're played by the same actor, though. But am I not merciful? Uh, I mean, that's pretty bad. I'll admit that. But yeah.
I'd say he's probably one of the worst bad guys from the 2000s.
Well, yeah. Well,
Easy.
we're not. Well, we don't have much competition there, do we? Sorry, I'm being mean to the 2000s. We're the big villains in the 2000s era movies. Heath Ledger's Joker, I think he was what? Was he 2008?
God, now I feel old. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know. I'm trying to think who else. 2000s. Movie villains of 2000s. I keep thinking they really messed up those Star Trek movies. Well, actually, you do have a couple from, you have the prequels. Two of the prequels are in the 2000s, right? You have Sauron. You have Saruman. Saruman's a decent villain.
That's true.
Christopher Lee. He was important to have as a villain because you need someone with a face. Because Sauron doesn't really have a face, you know. He has a mouth, but not a face. The slave who became a gladiator. Gladiator defied an emperor. Striking story.
And he's got a good point. He can't just kill him. He's got to be defeated.
Yeah, the trouble is he can't just execute him because then he's the bad. Then the crowd, the
Yeah.
people turn on him.
And we know he can fight because of that quick scene we had at the start of the movie.
Yes.
But if I was him, I wouldn't go anywhere near him in a fight.
No, he wants to kill him. Okay.
Yeah, but, I would just pay someone to do it. And that saying was actually was from Marcus Aurelius. It's in the Meditations.
Death smiles at us all.
Yeah.
I should read more philosophy. I read Plato. I read a bit of Plato. Plato's Phaedo, which was supposed to be based on the last lecture of Socrates. Okay, got him in the back. So he's poisoned him, right?
Oh, I think he stabbed him in the kidneys, which he would bleed internally pretty quick. I mean, not quick enough if it was me. I mean, but he's. I mean, it's a death blow.
Are you not entertained? So they're making a Charlie, a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory prequel. But a young Willy Wonka. What do you think of that?
Do what?
Never mind. It's completely
Oh,
unrelated to what we're watching. It's the news story we didn't get to on Study Hall. Maybe we'll do it this week. I don't know. He's doing the dirt again. See that?
yep.
I saw the Emperor's all in white, right?
Yep. I think Quintus threw the sword down because he doesn't know if Maximus would just take him out at that moment in time. You know, and for having a punctured kidney, he's doing really well.
Well, I'm sure a lot of it's willpower. He's been wanting revenge, right?
Yeah. And Joaquin Phoenix got hurt during this scene. He got smacked in the knuckles by the sword.
Oh, really? Hospital?
But
Or
he kept no, just I mean bloody
kept
and
going?
bruised, but he
Kept
kept
going?
on going.
Yeah, good on him. Give me a sword.
Nope, not doing it.
Is he seeing Elysium?
He's going.
Knives are nasty too. you
Yeah.
know?
Romans
Do
had
what?
a saying: you only need 2 inches to kill a man.
Yeah, we learned that in that Death Wish thing last week. All the guys had knives, remember?
Yeah.
Oh man, here we go. Right in the neck. That'll do it.
Yeah.
He's gonna be gurgling blood soon, isn't he?
They didn't really make this all that bloody. Not like they could have.
No,
Did you see Black Rain?
no.
Ridley Scott film from '89 with Michael
Okay,
Douglas and Andy Garcia. Um,
okay.
about the Yakuza.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds interesting.
yeah, it's a really good film. Very '80s, but not quite '80s film. But it's bloody in parts. Oh,
I got a bunch of Yakuza movies I have to watch. I think it's called Battles Without Honor or Humanity is the name of the series, which I think speaks to what it might be about. But they're from Japan. Okay. Where's he going?
it's going home.
I kind of want to see that sequel now. you know?
I'll be seeing the video as soon as we get off tonight. It's like a 10-minute video. I think Joe Blow Videos did it. It sounds like an amazing film.
All right. I'll take a look at it. Yeah.
Same shot we opened up the movie with.
Woman singing in the foreign language. Oh.
I actually found the translation for this online. I'm glad they didn't sing it in English. It wouldn't have been as good. But then they made like a club ultra mega remix of this. Made it all like.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was early 2000s, so everyone had to have a club remix. And it's on here. It's like the last track on here is like the what do they call it?
A club remix of Gladiator.
Yeah, oh, I can't see. I don't have enough light.
Look, he's lifting up. He's lifting up.
Yep.
His wife and son. If they were burned alive, yikes.
I don't know if that would be a good thing or not. I mean, it could take days to die from crucifixion, so I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
Yes. Oh, bad ways of killing people back then. So he's going to be the new emperor, the kid, right?
I'm not sure who came after communists, but this isn't historically accurate. But I think in this universe, she would probably figure something out for herself.
I don't be an empress. I don't think they had those, did they?
No. Egypt did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Quintus comes over. At the end, he realized he had made a mistake. And sometimes you feel like it's too late when you realize you've made a mistake, but you can always repent.
I don't think Mark Strong.
This scene was added in because Proximo had died.
Yeah,
originally he was going to die.
Oh, I see. Oh, Jedi Master. Yeah, no, it wasn't Mark Strong. I thought it was the other actor who was always in those. He's always playing the villain these days. He was the villain in what the heck was the name of that movie? Ready Player One.
I think they could have told a story there with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would assume, okay, he's freed, so he probably goes back to Africa, and that would have made it. I would have paid to see that movie.
Do his journey home, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know what was Africa like in this time period.
What part?
I guess there were different countries.
A lot was under Roman control.
I know. Directed by Ridley Scott.
Then there was talk about doing a prequel, which they never did, and that's probably good.
A prequel?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like prequels. Prequel's good, and I'll tell it first. Okay?
Yeah, like what's wrong with the story you already told? Why we gotta go back?
We gotta go back. Russell Crowe. Joaquin Phoenix. Connie Nielsen. Nelson. Oliver Reed. The late Oliver Reed. Was there in memory of Oliver Reed on this? Probably not, no.
Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
Okay. Richard Harris. He plays Dumbledore.
Interesting thing about Richard Harris. You see Master and Commander?
No, I need to watch Master and Commander.
The
I
day
had the
there's a
DVD. It's always been on my to watch list. I've never watched it. I need to watch Master and Commander.
well, I'm not really going to spoil anything, but there's a scene in the movie. You know, he's the captain of a boat, and
Right.
there's a service, and he's saying the Our Father. And Russell Crowe said the day that he was filming that scene was the day he found out that Richard Harris had died.
Oh wow, huh? And Hans Zimmer, the epic score. He did the score to the Prince of Egypt. I think that was before this, right?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's around the same time.
Let's see, movies anywhere.
To our friend Oliver Reed. You know, Tony Scott's lost 2 brothers to cancer.
Really?
Right before he did, I think it was Alien, his older brother died from cancer. And then Tony Scott had brain cancer and jumped off a bridge in California and committed suicide because he had brain cancer.
Oh, that's too bad.
Back in, it was right when The Dark Knight Rises came out.
Remember The Dark Knight Rises?
It was a while ago, but it doesn't seem like it should have been.
No.
So what are your thoughts on the movie? You said you haven't seen it in a while.
I liked it. For some reason, maybe it was too long. That's why there's even a director's cut. I think that might make this too long, a director's cut of this movie. I mean, what do you think?
I like the film we got. There's maybe like one scene I might add in, but
Let's see here. What are you opening up there? What is that?
like last week I ordered the X-Files, I Want to Believe soundtrack. It popped up on eBay for like $8 for shipping, and I was like,
I have that soundtrack. Well, we will have to do that movie sometime, okay?
Mark Snow has done all the music for the X-Files.
Mark Snow is interesting. That's almost why I thought Sound Engraver. I don't know if Sound Engraver would like the X-Files because it can get creepy sometimes, but I think she would appreciate the fact that it has a kind of it has an electronic score. I mean, for the majority of the show, she'd probably dig the score actually. I'm trying to think though. Yeah, have you ever seen the X-Files?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was in college in the 90s.
All right, I'm just asking. Did you see that movie? Did you see that movie?
This movie? I have not seen this movie.
It's a good movie. It's more like one of the monster episodes. You understand? So it's not so much focused on the
okay, yeah,
stuff,
that's cool.
which in some ways probably makes it better because
the Monster of the Week episodes. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and it came out a week after The Dark Knight, and nobody went to see it.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Chris Carter said, the audience, we waited too long. The audience wasn't there. Okay, he said that they needed to make these. I think what Chris Carter wanted to do was he wanted to do 5 seasons of the X-Files and then move on to X-Files movies and stop doing the TV show. Do you understand? Which I kind of wish they had done because when he
found Samantha and she had been killed by that guy or whatever.
That was bull.
I was like, what the heck?
I don't even buy it. I don't even believe it. You know, I've seen I don't buy it. I don't buy that as the ending for that. That was dumb. It didn't make any sense. The whole point.
You can't have the X-Files without Fox Mulder. I mean, I'm not knocking Robert Patrick as an actor.
Oh, he's a good actor.
He is, but once Fox Mulder left the show, he
came back for the finale. Okay.
Yeah, but.
That was because he I don't know what was going on with David Duchovny at the time. To be fair, though, he'd done like 7 seasons already, and I'll say this: that's a long time to do going on past that for a television show. I mean, keep in mind too, filming a show like the X-Files, that's a grueling schedule too. I mean, it's not like they're doing what they probably would do now to keep him on and to like maybe lighten the load would be do like 10 episode seasons and just have those air. You know what I mean? And that probably would have been the better way to go. That's what they would do now. In fact, that's what they did with the Revival series when they brought that back. I think the first season was 6 episodes. The second season was like 12 episodes. Then they didn't do any more after that.
And I know they were filming in Vancouver, Canada, and his wife was filming in L.A. or New York.
They had to move the show to L.A., and I didn't like that when they moved it to L.A., okay? Vancouver, I thought fit better with the X-Files. I don't know. I'm just... it is what it is. I've been rewatching the old seasons, but I'm on season 5 right now, and I kind of don't want to get to the end of it because then we're going to get past it when they go to LA, and I'm not going to like those seasons as much. Because I got the whole series digitally for like $50 or like during a Voodoo sale, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the whole thing because I want, and it looks great in HD. I have to give props to 20th Century Fox. They did a really nice job remastering the X-Files. They had to redo the effects, but the redone effects still look like the old effects. They just had to make it so it doesn't look like complete garbage on HD TV. You know what I mean? They still look similar to the effects on the old show. So, they didn't overdo it or anything. They didn't. So, yeah, I highly recommend if you ever get a chance to watch it in HD, the old show. And the neat thing is the old series was actually shot in widescreen, which I didn't know at the time, but they would always frame it so it could be shown on an old school TV and it would look fine. Do you understand? So you might get a little more room on the left side of Fox Mulder when, there isn't necessary, but it's not that distracting. It looks good. But that's Gladiator. We'll have to do another Ridley Scott movie sometimes. Like I said, Kingdom of Heaven.
I think that is 3 hours.
And I what's funny? Even though I pick on it, I have his Robin Hood. Because it was really cheap on a Black Friday.
I bought it on DVD.
It comes with both cuts, right? It comes with both cuts on the DVD, I think, like the unrated version and the regular version. And in the theatrical version, there are these kids running around in the woods, and it's not explained who they are. In the unrated version, I think they're the sons of men who died in the war or something. Okay, like they explained the war in Normandy, or they explained some reason why they're these wild kids in the woods. And I kept thinking that Ridley Scott had, seen Peter Pan and seen Robin Hood and saw them both wearing the pointy hats and got them confused, which is why he had, had the Lost, like I kept thinking the kids that was supposed to be like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan. I pick on that movie. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, this was fun though. So we'll be back next week, correct?
Yeah. What was the movie you're saying?
We'll probably do if we can't get our special guest. We might do Fistful of Dollars. Ennio Morricone. Do you have the score, dude? You can probably listen to it.
I'm sure
listen to it on YouTube. Listen to it on YouTube.
The computer, yeah.
Yeah, you can listen to it on YouTube. Okay. But I recommend the movie. You want to rent the movie or something. I don't know if it's being shown free anywhere. Sometimes YouTube has free movies, but I don't know if that's one of them. But,
and we are planning a 3-film Harry Potter fest coming up with special guest star. For people still here or watching in the future or later. For some reason, like overnight, we get like 30 views in our videos, and I don't know who these people are. But I don't know either.
You're doing pretty good, and then thank you, Big Al, for making the nice thumbnail for Daniel's.
Thank you
better
so
than
much.
I could do. My thumbnails are amateur night. I'm still working on it. But let me see. I'm just kind of curious if A Fistful of Dollars is on YouTube. Fistful of Dollars. Then I'll check Voodoo as well. I don't think it's on Disney Plus. Nah, it's a buyer rent.
That doesn't seem like a Disney Plus film.
No, especially the scene where he challenges the guys in the town for he's saying because he runs into some guys in the town and they scare his mule off, okay? And violence is going to be coming after that, right? Yeah, I think he comes in on a donkey, not on a horse in that. No, Sorry, it ain't free. Okay, you gotta pay
okay.
for it. Okay. Ooh, the Django's free though. Django's free. The original Franco
Jared.
Nero movie.
Oh, okay.
In fact, who did the score to a Django? I bet that's a Morricone score. Oh well. All right.
He only did like 500 or so films.
I know it's not a lot. In fact, I'm wondering. That might be funny for you and I to do a movie we haven't seen. Either of us haven't seen. Let me see. Django.
That
movie.
might be kind of difficult.
All right, hold on. It's always Django Unchained. Okay. No, what's the first one? All right, I'm going to give this up in a minute. Hold on. Who did the score to it?
I just thank you everyone who came by tonight. I hope y'all learned something about Rome. I feel like I was discussing Roman history more than I was the actual film score.
Louis Bacalog. Louis Bacalog. That's because you don't have the complete film score. This one's been
La La Land, Entrada. I'm looking at y'all.
Okay. Maybe they're working on it. You should make a petition or something.
I should, like a GoFundMe thing.
All right, next week, Fistful of Dollars. It's a Clint Eastwood classic. I think it's really the movie. I mean, his movies before that really put him on the map, though. In fact, I keep wondering. Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I have not.
Okay, never mind. The character in that is a Leonardo DiCaprio plays him, and he's known as a Western actor. He stars in Westerns, and like his agent goes up to him and says, "Hey, how about you go over to Italy and star in? They want you in Italy to star in some movies." And he got all so angry. He's like, "I don't want to be in no Italian Western." He gets so angry, you know.
Is that? Do they like end up killing the Manson family in that?
I'm not going to tell you what happens.
Like
I'm going to tell you that there's some wish fulfillment happening in the movie, and I'm not going to say what happens because it spoils it. Okay. It actually is a movie I want you to go in unspoiled. It is. It may not be what you think, but I think you'll be pleased. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on this.
I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan.
Oh well, then maybe you won't like it. I don't know. But Kingdom of Heaven, watch free on the Roku channel. That's interesting. You don't have a Roku player though, do you?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, on that note,
I'm down to my backup tablet because my good tablet fell on the concrete floor and
Can you get it fixed?
Yes, the part is $500.
How much is the tablet?
The payoff on the tablet is just over $300.
Okay. Interesting. So, okay.
Really kind of. I mean, I guess I'll just have to pay it off and just get another tablet. And maybe in a couple years I can. I mean, the tablet's still kind of new, so maybe in like another year I can get a used one on eBay and just switch out the parts. But
could do that. Kindle Fires tend to be cheap if you want to get a cheap thing to watch something on. Anyways, I'm trying to think what else is going on. Oh, you got any last words?
Thank you again, everyone who came by. I hope tonight was educational to some degree. Sorry I did not discuss the score very much. I did have lots of notes. I just got sidetracked about Roman history, I guess. But thank you for coming by as always. Adopt, don't shop. Keep listening to those great film scores. We'll see you next week. It looks like we're doing Fistful of Dollars.
Yep.
All right. Boomer.
Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next week. Fistful of Dollars.
All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.